You're listening to Carolina Forest Panther Football on the Carolina Forest Panther Football Network. And it starts right now.
Hello and welcome to Carolina Forest Panther Football here on the Carolina Forest Panther Football Network. My name is Brandon Biskobing as the Panthers get ready to take on the Socastee Braves here at Braves Stadium in Socastee. Panthers come into this game with a 4-4 record, trying to at least be 500 on the season this year. Braves come into this matchup 2-6, 0-4 in region play, although, contrary to what we said last week, Socastee more than likely will still make the playoffs, as with realignment this year, there are two at-large bids in the lower state this season, and one of those two more than likely will go to the number 5 team in Region 5-5A. Like I mentioned, I'm Brandon Biskobing. I'll bring in Preston Payne, my color guy right now. And Preston, this game is very big for the Panthers because a win here tonight, no matter what, will clinch a home game, because along with what we discovered this week with the number 5 seed, the top 3 teams in Region 5-5A will get a first-round home game as well. So Panthers would love to get a win here regardless, but clinching a playoff berth for the 9th straight season and clinching a home game to start off the playoffs would be amazing.
And I think it has a lot to do with how the travel time, because if you're not hosting a playoff game, who knows where you're going to go. And if we don't clinch tonight, if we don't win tonight, we put ourselves in a position to be underneath St. James in the standings, and second place has been the gold standard in Carolina Forest football for the past since the first real in 2020. And I think if anything less than that is deemed as a failure of a season. So in order to keep ourselves in the hunt with St. James and Sumter playing, as we'll see at halftime or give you updates for the during the course of the game, but this is a big game to set ourselves up for next week being a game for second place and not a all right, we're already not like a resting it. We don't want it to be a rest game. Yeah. And that is kind of the difference. And speaking of Sumter, I would kind of wanted to touch on that game just a little bit before we start talking about this game. And I said this multiple times on the way home as we carpooled together last week on the way home. It did not feel like a 42-21 game. And it almost seems like people who are scoreboard watching from home, or Ian Guerin's Maori News, whenever he retweets those, or whoever's following the Twitter page, it just seems like we just gave up a whole bunch of touchdowns. Like, no, they scored 3 touchdowns within 7 minutes, and by the middle of the fourth quarter, it was over. Yeah, they scored a touchdown at the beginning of the fourth. It was tied. It was tied going into the fourth quarter, and a rushing touchdown right to start, and then the Zion Gilbert fumble was really what I think moved momentum into Sumter territory, and it never left there after that.
Well, even before that, even though the Panthers were still in it, that the pick 6 by Zaire Gamble was the thing that really gave the momentum in the beginning of the second half to Sumter. And from there, even though the Panthers were able to tie the game back up, from there, it was basically you knew the writing was on the wall that Sumter had control and they were just going to break out at some point, and it happened in the fourth quarter.
And you bring up that, but I also brought up, we had this kind of the exact same conversation earlier, and I think you know where I'm going with this. I think what really kind of halted, I think at the end of the first half, Carolina Forest still had momentum. Yes. But what halted that momentum and didn't swing it further in Carolina Forest's side was the fact that we did not try anything.
Exactly.
Not even a deep pass down the field until there was 29 seconds left after 2 straight runs from the Carolina Forest offense with a minute left to go in that first half. And when you clearly don't. Okay, let me rephrase. As a player of a sport, when a coach doesn't try to take a chance when there's nothing to lose, it just seems like
it deflates
you, and it seems like you don't have a trust in the offense.
Well, that seems to have been the trajectory of that game last week against Sumter, is that it seemed like in the beginning of that game, certainly in the first quarter, and the beginning of the second quarter, it seemed like Carolina Forest had at least some momentum going into that game. They had some momentum. They took the lead 7-6 and then extended the lead out to 14-6. But then at the tail end of the second quarter, Sumter being able to not only score to cut the deficit down to 2, but then proceed to get the 2-point conversion at the end of the half, and then Carolina Forest deciding not to try to retake the lead going into the locker rooms. That is really deflating, and that was basically the beginning of the end for the Panthers in that game. And then the pick 6 in the first drive was just a nail in the coffin, and you knew, okay, Sumter's going to win this game.
And I think, and we even said it after the Zion Gilbert touchdown run, after the interception, like, you saw that Carolina Forest was willing to fight back.
Yeah.
Like, there was not a reason to necessarily worry tied up at 21 at that point. But as soon as Zion fumbles that football after the touchdown response by Sumter, you were like, okay, like, this is where they blow out. This is where they blow the game up, and it sucks because it seems like we just got absolutely worked like we normally do against Sumter. And I made the comment before that Sumter game that this was going to be the year, and Mark Morris had to have known that too.
Yeah,
and he has to realize that you have to take a shot. And I hope he's learned his lesson. If we're in a similar, which I hope we're not. I hope we're not in a similar situation.
Hopefully we're not.
But if we are, I hope he learns from his mistakes and says, okay, we are in a position where we can take a shot with the number 1 passing QB and the number 1 wide receiver in Horry County in terms of yards. But so looking into this game, Socastee coming in 0-3 in the region. This is their last region game. They'll play Wando next week as kind of like a throwaway.
Yeah, it's just a non-region, just finish off the season type game.
So let's talk about. There's more scenarios if we lose this game than if we win, we're in, and we will have next week to go play St. James for most likely the 2
for
seed.
the 2 seed, more than likely.
So, with how well we played again, we haven't seen St. James this year.
Yeah.
But depending on how well St. James is and how good they've played, we thought we had a chance. St. James possibly could have just as good of a chance as we did to knock off Sumter.
Now, granted, like we talked about before, that game out, I believe. Yes. No, it's actually they are at St. James. So Sumter has to travel to St. James. So that game down in Murrells Inlet will really show what both teams are like, but especially St. James, because St. James thus far has only played Conway and Socastee. And while yes, Conway played Carolina Forest very well, we talked about it during that game, it was a rivalry game, so that brings the best out of even an underdog team. But those two teams seem to be the cellar dwellers of Region 5 this year. So you don't really know how good St. James is at this point.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the big test to see, okay, where is this matchup going to be next week against St. James between Carolina Forest and St. James? But moving back onto this game, something kind of interesting. Well, talking about this game, but talking about the season as a whole for Carolina Forest. Now, granted, it also plays a factor, the competition level that they've played on both fronts. But the Panthers are 4-0 at home and 0-4 on the road.
I know why you prefaced it with the competition we've played, because we played our 3 hardest opponents so far.
Well, our 4 hardest opponents.
Our 4 hardest opponents so far on the road.
Yeah.
Sumter, Somerville, Oceanside, and
South Florence.
So when those numbers are a little weird, and I also mentioned the fact that we have 27 points per game so far and only 30.8 given up, which obviously it's lower point differential.
Yeah.
But on top of that, you combine that with a 49-14 loss to South Florence and a 38-7 loss to Somerville. Those other games, like, basically what I'm trying to get at, we don't have a close game. Like,
no.
Besides Stratford and Conway, we don't have
and
a close
Oceanside.
game. And Oceanside. But Oceanside was kind of the reverse Sumter game.
Yeah.
Like, we just kind of gave that game away.
Yeah.
Almost. You know what I mean? Like, Oceanside tried to give that game away to us, and we tried to give that game away to Sumter.
Yeah.
And it seems like this Carolina Force, and we mentioned this also before we went on air, whichever side of the ball, offense or defense, starts well to at the beginning of the game.
The other side. It starts to peter off in the second half, and the other side starts to do better. Yeah.
Right, and I think in order for, and I also mentioned that the second half of the Oceanside game, where we stopped them on 3 straight possessions and scored on 2 straight to tie the game back up at 21, was the most complete we've seen this football team so far this year.
Mm-hmm.
It was the most complementary football, if you will, if you want to use a football term for it. If you want complementary, the team has been this season. And if we can't put it together against Socastee, I wonder how well we're going to do in the playoffs, because there is no this will be our worst opponent this entire season.
Yes.
This will be the
maybe minus West Brunswick.
I would dare to say West Brunswick was, depending on how we've seen how they fared against the other teams in the region so far.
Yeah.
This is probably our easiest.
Yeah.
And if we can't put it together against Socastee,
then that spells trouble for the playoffs.
That spells a lot of trouble. And I mean, I guess West Brunswick was the most, and I know that was a long, long time ago, but I guess West Brunswick would be the most complete we've seen them. But that was so long ago before the 3-game road skid. That wasn't again, and that was also not against competition where it wasn't a region game and it wasn't a hard competition. So those two things make it literally not matter. You know what I mean? Like that was a consolation for last year, them picking up the first game of the season when we didn't have anybody to play.
Exactly. So I mean, like you said, this is going to be these next 2 games. I would say St. James more than Socastee, but this is a game to see, can we win the games that we're supposed to win? And then next week is really going to be, can we win against similar quality opponents?
And it's really, and I keep saying like, oh, we almost beat Sumter, but we lost by 3 touchdowns. It's like one of those things where it doesn't feel like we lost that game by 21. You know what I mean? Like, it just feels like we could have and should have won that game if 1 or 2 things change. You know what I mean? And it just seems like Carolina Forest cannot find their right time to play their best football. If they played that Sumter game against Oceanside, I think they beat Oceanside. If they played the Sumter game against, I don't know, maybe even Somerville. If you start that football game out like you did against, if you start Sumter like you started out against Somerville, you have you don't have a 38-7 game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying we would blow out Somerville, but at the same time, and maybe this is just kind of like a homer type thing.
Yeah.
But the way we played against Sumter in that first half is the way I thought going into the season this football team was going to play, and it just didn't. There's been a big learning curve, but both on a player front and on a coaching front, it seems, where it seems like the offense and just the team as a whole just hasn't been put into position to be as successful and as productive as they should be. Right, and I think with how and you talk about the learning curve. I think the coach's learning curve has been a lot sharper than a lot more spread out than the players' learning curve.
Yeah.
Because the learning curve and speaking of learning curves, this is going to be a big test for Scotty.
Yeah.
Can he learn, okay, hey, this is what I did wrong last week, because he didn't look off defenders. He stared down Nathan.
He was too focused on Nathan Schuessler.
Right. And it's not entirely his fault, because he was actually trying to get the ball to the best player on the field other than himself. We can debate whether the best player on offense is him or Nathan Schuessler.
Well, it kind of goes hand in hand because, it's like, I don't know what the best comparison you could make is, but, it's like having a great quarterback with no wide receivers. Is the quarterback going to be really all that great if he doesn't have anyone to throw the ball to?
That too. So even with that being, like, all of that being said, you have to kind of show that you have learned from last week and have learned, hey, like, maybe I shouldn't stare down Nathan Schuessler, as I think the national anthem is playing.
So we'll take a quick break and come right back with some final thoughts and get you ready for kickoff here on the Carolina Forest Panther Football Network.
Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights. We switch TV channels. Some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, State Farm agent Tony McAfee, right here in Carolina Forest, can switch you over so you can start saving today. Tony and his team are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. With Tony McAfee, it's easy to switch and save. Just give him a call. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Welcome back as we are just about set to kick off the second to last game of the season here in Socastee as the Braves take the field. Panthers take the field as well.
And another thing that I kind of wanted to mention was the fact that in order to get Nathan Schuessler the ball without putting the risk on to Scotty, why not run those jet sweeps with the wide receiver and just say, like, okay, hey, like, this is our best runner with the football. Give it to him. And we saw that with Khalil Johnson last week. Khalil Johnson is arguably one of the better players on this offense, and he got the ball into space and got the ball without the risk of a run right up the middle. You know what I mean? Like, it was very – it almost felt like he was learning but wasn't learning for the right people.
Yeah.
Like
this offense needs to become, on both fronts, both passing and running, it needs to be it needs to stop being so one-dimensional.
Right. And with all the homecoming stuff for Socastee done and over with, I think Carolina Forest is going to kick it off.
Yeah, we're just about set to get things underway. Not sure, didn't see who won the toss.
I didn't even see a coin toss.
I didn't see this coin toss either, but Socastee will receive the ball. And as we go through the game, we will talk about playoff situation as the kick is up and we are underway. Fielded at the 28-yard line. Socastee fielded and gets taken down at around the 31-yard line, and that's where the Braves will start with the ball. As we are, like we said, second to last week of the regular season, so those playoff scenarios are coming into play. Obviously, next week more than likely will be the big determining factor on where Carolina Forest goes, although, that could potentially change depending upon what happens with Sumter and St. James tonight. Shotgun set 3 wide on the far side, taking the snap and trying to flip it out, and that ball is incomplete. Kadir Scott trying to get it out to the flat, but no dice, and it'll be 2nd and 10.
And Kadir Scott has a offer from Indiana.
And a long time back in 2020, apparently he received an offer from Indiana. Hasn't gotten anything since, so not sure.
And that's like the big thing. Like that's the question I asked. How are you 0-3 with a quote unquote Division I quarterback?
And Kadir Scott specifically, I guess to get better play against better competition, transferred from Christian Academy of Myrtle Beach. So I'm wondering if he's regretting that decision, as on the 2nd and 10, it's handed off, trying to plow through the line, but getting taken down after a gain of maybe 1. Is number 1. Actually, I'm not sure. I don't know who made that carry. But either way, it was a gain of 1, and it'll now be 3rd and 9.
And this is where the defense has shined in the entire course of the season, was 3rd and long, with the defensive line can just pin their ears back and don't have to worry about the threat of a rush.
Scott takes the snap, high snap, takes a 3-step drop, looking, scrambles out to his left, still looking, and decides to throw it on the run, and it's batted down, and it'll be 4th down. Nice job right there by...
I believe that was Hayden Glazier on the deflection, if I'm not mistaken.
It was number 35, and I don't have him on my roster unless someone changed numbers. So either way, it's 4th down, and Rocco Wojcik, who is normally the quarterback, as he will get the punt off and letting it roll out of bounds at the 34-yard line is Nathan Schuessler. Actually, they'll mark it down at the 32, and that's where the Panthers will start on offense. And Rocco Wojcik, normally the starting quarterback, was named the starter, has been the starter for the last couple of years, but he broke his collarbone a couple of weeks back, and that's why, but he's still able to punt, so kind of interesting situation there.
Yeah, and one thing that I want to notice, that drive only took 1 minute and 5 seconds. Quick offense by...
2 incomplete passes.
2 incomplete passes helped that.
Yeah.
But still, defense getting off the field very fast.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on either side. Saylor takes the snap, play action, screen pass, caught, and trying to get through his defenders, but getting taken down at the 39-yard line is Nathan Schuessler. Or actually, Anthony Aponte, excuse me.
And that was kind of the thing that I was kind of bringing up with Nathan Schuessler, is that's what I kind of wanted, the safer throws to get Nate Schuessler out into space, and then that's when you can take the top off the defense.
So it'll be 2nd and 3, ball on the 39-yard line. Shotgun set, 3 wide on the near side. Trying to spread out the offense. Now moving into the H-back on the far side. They'll hand it off, and Khalil Johnson breaks through the hole and actually that was Zion Gilbert, who breaks through the hole and gets up to the 46-yard line. That'll be enough for a Tony McAfee State Farm Carolina Forest 1st down.
And a good mix of run and pass on the 2 plays that we've had. And the running game, if that continues to be what we see so far from the running game, that will be very good. And if we continue to see 6-7 yards per attempt on the passing game, that sets up the offense for a very great day today.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side. Saylor takes snap, hands it off to Gilbert. Gilbert trying to break through and gets a couple.
That's what I get for saying something.
Yep. He does get 3, though, so not a completely ineffective run.
Is that a digital down
Yeah,
marker?
I was about to mention that. They're going fancy here at Socastee. They have a digital down marker over on the far side of the field.
Apparently moving the slot down to the number 2 is a little too rough for the person. So you gotta just click a button.
So it'll be 2nd and 7 from the 49-yard line. defense up tight. And basically the 3-5 set right now. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side. They'll hand off to Gilbert. Gilbert breaks through the hole and gets taken down at the 42-yard line. But that'll be enough for another Tony McAfee State Farm Carolina Forest first down.
And Zion's getting very good blocks, and he had a lead blocker. I believe it was Philip McLean on the as the lead blocker there, and he was able to just kind of go right behind Phil and able to get a really good gain on second down. And
Philip McLean and Bryson Johnson over on that side. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side. Saylor, low snap, bobbles it for a second, but he's able to pick it up. He lofts it deep for Schuessler, and it's just a little too far.
That was actually...
that was Anthony Aponte, actually, who was going on the go route.
And I think you say just a little too far, and it was quite out there. However, there is no other play. That's like one of the first things you're taught about throwing deep balls as a QB is either your guy gets it or nobody gets it.
And
that's exactly what he did.
8.5 left to go in the first quarter. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side. He'll hand it off to Gilbert, and Gilbert will get taken down at the 36-yard line.
And that's why you take that shot on first down. It gives you second down, third down, and probably fourth down to go get a first down. And with the running game working like it has been, I'm not worried about our offense moving the chains at all right now.
3rd and 5, ball set on the 37-yard line.
And actually, you want to know something that I've kind of noticed the past couple weeks? Carolina Force has been going a little bit slower tempo.
Yeah.
Usually they snap the ball the past couple years with 14 seconds.
Yeah.
Now it's like 4.
At least now they've gotten better in avoiding the delay of games, because that was a problem early on in the season that they were going too slow. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the near side. Read option, as Scott Saylor breaks through the hole and gets taken down at the 28-yard line, and that'll be enough for another Tony McAfee State Farm Carolina Forest first down.
And not a bad run right there from Scotty, and that's what happens when Zion Gilbert's been running the ball as well as he has been. The defense sinks in on him and not disciplined enough to also guard Scotty, and Scotty gets a great gain there too.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on the near side. H-back moves over to the near side as well. Saylor takes the snap, hands it off to Gilbert. Gilbert trying to keep up on his feet, and breaks through a little further than it initially looked like he would, and he gets taken down at the 24-yard line.
And this is a great methodical drive by the Carolina Force offense. Mix of run and pass, and again, we've been talking about a balance on offense. This is 60-40, but it is a balanced offense, and that's kind of the thing that some people haven't necessarily gotten, is that we don't mean 50-50 or even set 60-40 in favor of the passing game. 40-60 run pass is just as good.
Just keep them, make them respect the pass game. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the near side. They'll hand it off to Gilbert. Gilbert finds a huge hole, and he stays on his feet and dives into the end zone for a touchdown.
And that is why you run with that balance, because those balance made sure that there was at least 4 DBs in the game, and the middle of the field just ran wide open for Zion Gilbert.
And he was able to break at least 2 tackles on that scamper into the end zone.
Does it remind you a little bit of the Janak?
Yes.
Style of running, not necessarily how strong Janak is, but his style of running. Just run through somebody, as opposed to, as the extra point is up and good, stretching the lead to 7-0. But doesn't it remind you a little bit of his running style?
Yes.
Just run through somebody outside, but as opposed to Khalil Johnson's style of kind of elusive back.
Trying to make people miss, So with 6:25 left to go in the first quarter, the Panthers take the first lead of the game. It's 7-0, and those first 2 drives are exactly what you want to see as a Panther fan, especially after what happened last week.
And it also is encouraging because you're coming off that loss last week, and in a game where at halftime you were tied. To be able to come out here, get a stop, get a score, and get your defense back out there is really good for the momentum of this Carolina Force Panthers football team.
So J.J. Chaddock puts the ball on the tee and gets ready to kick it off once again to Socastee. And, not trying to get too far ahead of ourselves, but, if this continues, the Panthers could, have a blowout for the first time this season. As the kick is up and it's taken down to the 36-yard line.
A blowout for the first time this season?
Well, okay, outside of West Brunswick.
West Brunswick and North Myrtle Beach?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, fair enough. I guess the North Myrtle Beach game just didn't feel like as much of a blowout as it was.
9 plays, 68 yards, and a 52-yard on the ground for Zion Gilbert on that last drive, courtesy of Ian Guerin, who is also here at the game.
Yeah, so which means we get stats tonight. As
Woo-hoo!
the speed option pitch out is taken down right at the line of scrimmage. So no gain right there. And it'll be 2nd and 10. That was number 16, Caden O'Keefe on the carry.
And
actually, they'll say he lost a yard, so it's 2nd and 11.
And with that -1 yard, they have now 0 yards of total offense for Socastee so far.
Shotgun set. They'll run the ball right up the middle, and now they're back into positive territory as they get a gain of 9 on the O'Keefe scamper.
I want to say that was a QB keeper. I thought he read the read option.
Yeah, you may be right.
With Scott there. And that's going to be another thing with, I think, Socastee's quarterback is going to be one of the more athletic ones we've seen in a while.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on either side.
And there's going to be a penalty flag for offsides. The hard count got him. And I believe it was number 36 on the edge there.
So Bradley Burleson.
Yeah, Bradley on the outside. And just not disciplined enough on that play right there, and that's going to cost them a first down.
So that'll move it up. That'll move the ball up to the 50-yard line, and that'll give Socastee their first down of the day as they'll run the jet sweep, hands it off, and a great job right there by Hayden Glazer coming in from the safety position and stuffing that run. And making it a loss of 2.
Hayden Glazier and Manning Hitt have been 2 of the names that we've called the most this year. Hayden Glazier has been the deflections in the defensive secondary, and Manning Hitt with the hits on the tackles that he's had.
Shotgun set, 3 wide on the far side, rolling out, trying to find a man, throwing it up, and it will be incomplete.
Said he didn't get the foot down and.
Kadir Scott just trying to get something going, and like you mentioned, he's definitely the most athletic quarterback we've seen
since Hunter Renfrow.
Well, I mean, here at Socastee, yes.
One of the more athletic QBs in terms of like Socastee in recent history. Yeah, and I think you're right on that point too. That one of the more athletic QBs we've seen this
outside
year.
of Lenore Sellers, probably.
Yeah, yes, obviously.
The run play action throws it up the middle. It's caught for a first down and more. Gets taken down at the 35-yard line. That was Zach Starkey who made the catch. And now suddenly Socastee is starting to get something going offensively.
And that's what happens when you don't respect the passing game. Yeah. Those linebackers, like we usually say for the Carolina Forest play action game, the linebackers for the Carolina Forest Panthers moved up and allowed a wide open hole for Scott to throw into.
1st and 10 from the 35-yard line. Shotgun set, 3 wide on the near side. Snap, throw the screen pass out. It's caught and getting wrangled down at around the 28-yard line Trey Grant.
And Trey, I played basketball with him. He is elusive. He is one of those.
He was trying to be elusive there.
That move that he made when he caught the screen was reminded me of his hop steps that he used to do when I played basketball with him, and he was able to break through to get a gain of 8 there.
Do a little stutter step, a little Euro step. Shotgun set, they'll run. Looked like they were going to try to run the triple option, but instead just handed it off to Caden O'Keefe. And he gets taken down at the 22-yard line, and that'll be enough for another Socastee first down.
So after that quick 3-and-out by Carolina Forest defense, now
Socastee is starting to get something going.
Right. And we talked about they hadn't had a complete game, and yeah, they got to stop one time, but this is going to be where the defense has to get a stop here and not allow a touchdown.
Got to be a bend but don't break type defense right here. Shotgun set, 2 wide on either side. Snap, they'll run the jet sweep, handing it off and getting taken down after a gain of only 1. It's Trey Grant.
And Trey Grant seems to be their their focal point so far. He's got the completion. He's got the handoff right there. And it makes sense. He is a very athletic guy. And it's almost like what we should do with Nate. Just get your best guy into space.
Yeah. So we'll see if they continue to get it to Grant. Shotgun set, 2 wide on either side. They'll run the jet sweep again. Oh, no, they'll run play action and throw it, and it's caught and able to step into the end zone is Zach Starkey, and that'll be a Socastee touchdown.
And as we were praising the Carolina Force defense for getting that stop on that first down, now it seems like they are the Carolina Force defense of old and just didn't get a stop right there.
What it looked like there, it looked like Socastee realized, okay, just a basic offense isn't going to work against Carolina Force. We need to do some trickeration, and they did it right there. The play action jet sweep, and Starkey was wide open right up the middle on a little in route as the extra point is up and good. And it is now 7-all with 2.5 left to go in the first quarter.
And right there, you have to respect that passing game now.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen that the play action is killing you. You have to respect it. And this is not a position now. Now the offense has to kind of stay ahead of the Socastee offense and not let them kind of take the lead and tie the game up. And you can't go back and forth with a team that you're supposed to beat.
Yeah. And that's going to be the key, like you said, is both sides of the ball need to start coming together now, and the Panthers really need to start taking this game over.
Hey, I'm trying to find where if there's an update on the score. I'm talking out loud. No update so far as the squib kick coming out.
They go with
and
the
it goes
squib
over
kick.
Luke Janik's head, and Anthony Ponte will have it, and he's going to break out, and he'll get to the outside, and he will get pushed out of bounds at the 36, and that was a way to make something out of nothing. It looked like Anthony was surrounded and was able to get to the outside, and that was probably the best 8-yard return I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And that's the perk of being kind of smaller. Anthony Ponte is not tall by any stretch of the imagination, but he's able to
find those
fit,
holes.
Yeah, he can fit through the holes and able to get through them.
So the Panthers will take over on offense at the 37-yard line. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side. Saylor takes a snap, 3-step drop, looking down the middle and incomplete. I don't know where he was trying to go with that ball. Looked like a little miscommunication. Threw it behind Anthony Aponte.
Well, there was 2 receivers in the area, and I'm wondering if that was kind of a scissors concept where those 2 players run a corner and a post across from each other, and one of them is on that outside part of the field. But
it looked like maybe that was the concept that Scott thought they were running, but the inside man did not go outside.
Yeah.
The inside man did not go on the corner route. So it's 2nd and 10, shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side. H-back moving over to the far side as well. They'll hand it off to Johnson. Johnson bounces through the hole. Oh, excuse me, Zion Gilbert.
You're
no,
right.
I was right
Trust
the
yourself.
first time.
There is a flag in the offensive backfield, however, and I'm going to assume
it's going to be a holding, probably.
Unless we see a Conway illegal chop block on the defense. They're talking amongst themselves, and I can't.
Still waiting for the.
Oh
wow! My God!
It was an illegal chop block on the defense, and something that I hadn't seen before this season. We have now seen 3 times.
Prestadamus?
Shh! You're gonna tell him my secret. You're gonna tell him that my. Shh. Either way, a lucky break for Carolina Forest
Yes.
to get a first down.
And that's now, what, 3 or 4 times that we've seen this season, and I have never seen a defensive chop block before this. Shotgun set, 3 wide on the far side. Sailor takes a snap, speed option, has to pitch it out quickly and gets it to Khalil Johnson. Johnson gets a lane and gets, still on his feet, and finally gets taken down at the 35-yard line. That'll be enough for a Tony McAfee State Farm Carolina Forest first down, but there is a flag on the play.
Chop block on Socastee. Chop block on Socastee. No, they're moving him back.
Yeah, this probably will be what I thought the last one was, a holding call on Carolina Forest.
Yeah, they're moving back.
Yeah.
Illegal block in the back.
Okay.
So you were wrong.
Well, close enough.
Same
difference.
Same result.
Same difference.
And this is usually when we've seen Mark Morris go to the passing game.
Yeah.
And it has worked 9 times out of 10.
So it will be 1st and 17 from the 45-yard line. Actually, 1st and 18.
Yeah. 1st and 18. We don't do math here at the Carolina Forest Football Network.
No, we don't.
No, we don't. Not even a little bit.
Shotgun set, 3 wide on the near side. Sailor takes the snap, hands it off to Khalil Johnson. Khalil Johnson finds the hole. And fumbles it. And it looks like the Panthers were able to recover it. The center, Connor Murphy, was able to recover the fumble.
And Zion Gilbert is coming into the game for said Khalil Johnson. And that's been kind of the issue is ball security.
Yeah.
Ball security in the passing game, in the running game. Turnovers have not helped this offense in the entire year.
No. So it will be 2nd and 14 from the 49-yard line. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the near side. Sailor takes a snap, hands it off to Gilbert. Gilbert tries to find a hole and pushes the scrum forward to the 45-yard line.
And that makes it 3rd and 8, and that's manageable for what, like for this offense. And I want to note something. Anthony Aponte was kind of lined up. He was in the slot, but he was lined up as far back as Scotty was in the shotgun. And I'm going to wonder if that is setting up something later, maybe a screen pass to Anthony Aponte, or even a double pass from Scotty to Aponte to somebody down the field.
Or maybe like one of those wide receiver triple option plays.
That too. Just interesting things that I think Mark Morris is kind of learning that he can do with the offense that he has.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side. Sailor takes a snap. Read option. Sailor keeps it himself and falls forward. Will only get a couple.
Now, I don't know about that play call there.
Yeah, well, it looked like Sailor tripped a little bit on the turf.
He tripped, but even if he doesn't, I don't know that he even
makes it anywhere close. No, I agree.
That's going to end the first quarter.
So that will end the first quarter with the game all tied up at 7. We'll take a quick break and come right back with more Panther football here on the Carolina Forest Panther Football Network.
Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights. We switch TV channels. Some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, State Farm agent Tony McAfee, right here in Carolina Forest, can switch you over so you can start saving today. Tony and his team are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. With Tony McAfee, it's easy to switch and save. Just give him a call. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Beginning of the second quarter about to commence as we are all tied up at 7 here at Socastee High School and Brave Stadium.
And you really got to wonder why not throw the football there. You know what I mean?
Like we've talked about all year with the offense, it seems like the only time that you know for a fact they're going to throw it, and even then you don't know for a fact, is when they get into super desperation mode, when it's like 3rd and 25.
Yeah. And it's 4th and 6, and I'm gonna assume they're gonna go for it here.
They're probably gonna go for it, but I mean we'll have to wait and see. Looks like they're gonna go.
With how close they are to like where they are at on the field at the 43-yard line, this would be an interesting spot to try to pin Socastee and play kind of a field position game. Because you don't need a great punt to get them within the 10.
Yeah. Looks like they're going for it.
I assume they would, but Just an interesting thought.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side. Sailor takes a snap, 5-step drop, looking down the field, throws it up, and it's caught by Nathan Schuessler, and he will step it into the end zone for the touchdown.
And he caught it with plenty of space to go and did the Tyreek Hill he did the Tyreek Hill peace sign on him, or he did the stop sign on him and put the hand out just in front of him.
Yeah.
That was quite disrespectful, but I like the
I'm
chippiness.
surprised that in high school that there wasn't a flag there.
But either way, I like the chippiness from this Carolina Force team. They've learned a thing or two. And what a bomb.
That was a perfectly placed ball. Just a floater up right where the only person who could catch it was Nate, as the extra point is up and good. And Carolina Forest now takes a 14-7 lead. And what an answering drive for the Panthers right there after giving up the touchdown.
And that is the glimpse of what we've seen, what we could have seen all year from this Carolina Forest offense. That is what the glimpses, the flashes in the pan, if you will, of what we could have seen all year from this offense. But it seems like we haven't had that type of consistency with this passing offense to do that. You know what I mean? Like, it seems choppy is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
And that's a glimpse of something we could have been seeing all year.
As Carolina Forest gets ready to kick it off and give it back to Socastee. And now the key's going to be, will the defense be able to do their job this time around?
That was a 43-yard touchdown pass from Scotty to Nate Schuessler. As the kick is up, and it's going to was there a flag?
I don't
know. There's a flag down near the flag. I was like, they're just going to let the ball. I was very confused for a second, but there is a flag on Carolina Forest. And that
maybe a false start, I'm guessing?
False start on the kicking game is low-key crazy.
Yeah.
So now I wonder if Coach Mark Moore says, you know what, kick it deep now. Because now a pooch kick only puts you probably about at the 50, and that's not necessarily great field position. I wonder if they kick it deep here.
So that was a 7-play, 62-yard drive for the Panthers. That was Scott Saylor's 14th passing touchdown of the season. And yet we don't pass it all that much.
Right. That's kind of ridiculous.
As now he does allow him to kick it deep, and he puts it all the way into the end zone for a touchback.
So, okay, that is another coaching thing that I don't understand.
Yeah.
He just kicked that from a normal kickoff, from the 35.
All the way into the end zone.
All the way into the end zone. It took a one-hop bounce, but it landed at like the 10.
Yeah.
So why why give them the 30 when you could very easily get
Braves with the ball now, shotgun set, 2 wide on either side. They'll hand it off, and a good job by the Panthers defense right there. Combination of Junior Zymans and I believe that was 24.
Jordan Pugh.
Yeah, Jordan Pugh was also the other one who was on that tackle. Great job by both of them just getting into the backfield quickly. Shotgun set, 3 wide on the near side. Snap, hands it off, trying to find a hole, but again being held up right at the line of scrimmage. And they're going to say he just got back maybe a half a yard. Caden O'Keefe, and that'll make it 3rd and 9.
And again, this offense in 3rd and long has been this defense in 3rd and long has been its strong suit all year. It's been when the defensive line has been able to pin their ears back and just say, all right, we're going to go get this guy. And that is exactly what I'm hoping to see from this Carolina Force defense.
Shotgun set, 3 wide on the near side. High snap. Looking down the field now, rolling out to his left. Trying to find someone. Finally does throw it and basically just throws it away, does Kadir Scott. And they'll bring up 4th and long.
And Rocco coming out to punt. And one thing that we want to know, his collarbone injury was not on his throwing shoulder.
Yeah.
So maybe they throw in a wrinkle with a fake punt with Rocco.
Yeah, we were talking to Socastee's broadcasters, and we were the ones that actually mentioned potentially, seeing a fake punt or something like along those lines.
Maybe not.
Not at this point.
Yeah, maybe not 4th and 9 in the
but
second.
Maybe
in the first
at
half.
a 4th and 1 closer to midfield.
I don't know that you would fake punt it from 4th and 1.
Well,
but
true. Maybe 4th and 4 or something. Oh, the punt rush almost gets to him, but he is able to get the punt off. The ball will take a Carolina Forest bounce, and
47-yard line
will get marked down at the 47-yard line. Oh, actually, it looks...
Yeah.
Okay, they are marking it. I thought the other umpire was moving forward.
I can do math sometimes. I know we don't do math here, but I can math sometimes.
So that's where the Panthers will take over. They'll take over in Socastee territory at the Socastee 48-yard line.
And this is where...
Or 47, excuse me.
This is where I would see a lot more of the ground game. Because now the defense has to be aware of Nathan Schuessler on the outside and maybe throw a double team at him like we saw against Sumter.
Shotgun set, 3 wide on the near side. Saylor takes a snap, throws a screen pass out to Aponte. Aponte trying to find a hole. He does, gets around, and still on his feet. He kept in bounds and beat the defender into the end zone for the touchdown. A 47-yard touchdown scamper off of the screen pass for Aponte, and the Panthers take a 20-7 lead.
What a catch and run from Anthony Aponte there. He was on the outside.
And the elusiveness like we talked about before.
And just was able to stay in bounds on the outside, and he was tiptoeing that sideline.
Yeah.
And that was a great run by Anthony Aponte on the screen pass.
J.J. Chaddock comes out for the extra point. It's up and good, and it is now a 21-7 lead for Carolina Forest with 10:14 left to go in the second quarter. We'll take a quick break, come right back with more Carolina Forest Panther football action.
Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights. We switch TV channels. Some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, State Farm agent Tony McAfee, right here in Carolina Forest, can switch you over so you can start saving today. Tony and his team are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. With Tony McAfee, it's easy to switch and save. Just give him a call. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Welcome back, as that was a very quick drive right off of the punt. A one-play, 47-yard drive on that one great screen pass, and just Anthony Aponte using his speed and elusiveness to blow by the defense and score the touchdown. And now the defense ready to come back on the field. Now, granted, they had a 3-and-out in the last drive, so it's not like they were on the field for that long, but having to come back onto the field after only one play, that fatigue factor may come into play at some point, as the kick is up, a pooch kick, and they will be taken down at around the 40 or 36-yard line. That's where Socastee will start with the ball. Actually, 37-yard line.
So instead of the 20-yard line, you give them the
37. Yeah, no, I agree.
I know we don't do math here, but I think 20 is less than 37.
Yes.
I think.
Yes.
I
Pretty
could be
sure.
wrong about that.
Pretty sure. Shotgun set, 3 wide on the far side. They'll try a screen pass of their own, but oh no, he's able to break a tackle, trying to find a lane around the inside, coming down the near side and stepping out of bounds at the 49-yard line is Trey Grant. And
there is a flag on the sideline, and I'll tell you what, Socastee's parents are madder than all heck right now. There are 2 parents, and one of them has now run down to the edge of the fence, and he is mad as all get out. And that play will get pushed back. It was an illegal block in the back on Socastee, and that will take away the gain by Trey Grant. And that just shows you how, It feels like Texas football where the parents are all mad as all get out, and that's a great thing for Carolina Forest because now they can pin their ears back like it is third down and just go after the quarterback. But just penalties have aided Carolina Forest and hurt Carolina Forest in a variety of different ways this season.
So 1st and 20, shotgun set. They'll run the triple option. They'll hand it off, and O'Keefe will get taken down at the 30-yard line.
And this is a situation where we've seen Carolina Forest give up first downs in this type of situation. 2nd and 15, 2nd and longer, 2nd and 10 and longer, and you give up a first down on that next play. You have to be disciplined here and stay within the boundaries.
Shotgun set, 3 wide on the far side. The snap. Oh, a high snap. Fumbled it for a second, but is able to catch it and having to take it down and run it himself and getting all the way out almost to the first down. Gets taken down at the 43-yard line is Kadir Scott.
And that's kind of what I'm talking about. That is exactly a situation where you have 2nd and long, and now it is 3rd and 4.
4, yeah.
And it's much more manageable than 2nd and 15, 2nd and 10. You can't allow them to get back ahead of the chains when you were in control.
Shotgun set, 3 wide on the near side. Motion to the far side. Now another high snap, and Kadir Scott this time gets blown up in the backfield. Coming in on the rush is Jordan Pugh, and he absolutely blew that play up.
Actually, was that number 20?
Was it 20? Or?
It was 20. It
was 20. Riker Roberts.
And that's a name we haven't called
yet.
But he came off he's an outside linebacker, and he came off the edge, and off the high snap, it threw off the timing of the quarterback and was able to just blow that play up was Roberts.
Well, 2 bad snaps certainly helped matters, as now Rocco Wojcik comes out to punt it away, and this time a low snap. Wojcik is able to pick it up off the ground and get it off. Catching it at the 29-yard line is Schuessler. He's trying to find a lane. He does get upfield a little bit, but gets taken down at the 32-yard line.
And that was more running side to side than straight forward. And that was a good effort to make because he had a person right on him as he was catching that ball. That was a good play to make something out of nothing. And now this offense can put this game in. They can go into cruise control with a touchdown. They can put that not into cruise control because that's how you lose football games.
Yeah.
But you can put yourself in a very, very, very comfortable position with a touchdown here and the ball to start the second half.
7:45 left to go in the first half. 21-7, Panthers in the lead. And the Panthers with possession once more. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the near side. Saylor takes the snap, hands it off, and Zion Gilbert gets stood up at the 36-yard line. That will be a gain of 3.
Gains of 3. Hey, 3-yard and a cloud of dust football.
Yeah.
And
that's the Mark Morris
special. And I don't want it to be the Mark Morris special. That's like getting stinky shoes with steak as your special. But at the same time, it works a lot of the time, and that's all you really need.
Shotgun set, 3 wide on the near side. Saylor takes the snap, speed option. He'll keep it himself and just gets wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe got a yard. They will say he did, and it will now be 3rd and 6.
And this is a play where I would have Nate on a go route, and then Anthony or Owen Hall, who is back this week, Owen Hall on a drag route or a slant, and have that safety blanket where you don't have to force it down the field, but can also take that deep shot.
Go based off of where the safety is. Shotgun set, 3 wide on the far side. Schuessler on an island. Actually, I take that back. It is Schuessler on an island on the near side.
And someone took a timeout.
I believe Carolina Forest did. So they will take a timeout with 6:20 left to go in the first half. And this game...
Don't say no.
What?
Because if you say what I think you're going to say in terms of how this game is going so far and how it could lead to a result that we like in the future.
I know. I was just going to say that it's, they're playing better right now than they were a few possessions ago.
Right, and I think that is true, but with what the defense showed on that one touchdown drive is like how easily they can get picked apart and how easily Socastee can move the football if the dominoes fall the right way. I don't know that I'm even satisfied with a 2-touchdown lead going into half.
Yeah.
You need to get points in some form or fashion here. And it can be a field goal. Like I'm not asking go score a touchdown right now, but 3 possessions is a very safe lead going into halftime.
Yes.
Especially when you're getting the ball to start the second half.
So we'll see what the Panthers go with here on a 3rd and 6.
And out of the timeout, I don't know why you even looked.
Yeah, I don't know why you should have a play called out of the timeout.
Yeah, you're down near 6 seconds on the play clock.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on either side. Sailor takes a snap, 1-step drop, looks near side, high pass is caught by Schuessler. He'll get the first down and more. Gets tripped up at around the 50-yard line and will fall forward. They will mark him right at the 50.
That was Finney and Mahood. Yeah, it was Finn on the out
okay.
Route. It was Finn on the out route, and Finn, again, I think it was kind of the concept that we were talking about. Was take the deep route with Schuessler, and if they give you the underneath, that's exactly what you go with.
So that'll be a Tony McAfee State Farm first down. 1st and 10 at the 50. Sailor takes a snap, speed option, tries to bounce it inside, and will get taken down at the 45-yard line. So a 5-yard run for a Sailor, and it'll be 2nd and 5.
Again, not a bad run there. And I think Mark Morris is now saying, okay, there's 5:40 to go.
Yeah.
You take as much time as you can off the clock and then score. You don't leave Socastee a chance to get momentum going into halftime.
Yep. So it'll be 2nd and 5 from the 45. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the near side. Sailor takes a snap, hands it off to Gilbert, and he will get taken down at the 42-yard line for a gain of 3.
And just solid running right now.
Yeah.
It's not flashy, but it's also not a negative gain. That's the balance that we have to have with this Carolina Forest offense is the fact that when the run game is not working, you can't force it. The run game is working right now, and as long as it's not a series of 2-yard, 3-yard gains, I'm completely fine with us going back to the running game.
So 3rd and 2, shotgun set, 1 wide on either side. Sailor takes a snap, he'll run read option and keep it himself, and he will get taken down right at the line of scrimmage for no gain, and it'll be 4th down. And that regular read option with Scott keeping the ball has not been working thus far, especially on 3rd down.
And this is a position where you can't just run the ball right up the middle because that's what they're expecting. You have to throw some type of wrinkle in there.
Shotgun set, 1 wide on either side. Sailor looking over to the sideline.
It looked like Socastee had jumped kind of like Carolina Forest did, and they didn't call it, or they called it for Carolina Forest but didn't for Socastee.
Sailor takes a snap, hands it off to Gilbert, and he'll get stuffed for a loss of 1, and Socastee gets the ball back, and that's not what you need to see because now that gives some momentum potentially to Socastee.
So, hey, Brandon.
Yeah?
I have a question.
Yeah?
What did I say not to do right before that play?
Yes.
What did I say? I said not to run it right up the middle because that's exactly what they're going to push for. They're going to push right up the middle. Even if it was a run, if you really want to run that ball in that position, do a speed option to the outside.
Yeah, because that's been working.
Because it's been working, and it gets your players on the outside where the defense isn't stacked.
Yeah.
Simple coaching mistakes like that just ruin drives.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 43-yard line. They'll run the triple option, and it's fumbled. And I believe Socastee came up. I think Socastee came up with it. They did, as
Those snaps are getting
Kadir
wild.
Scott was able to fall on it.
Those snaps are getting wild out
Yeah.
there, though.
But that is a loss of 5, so it is now 2nd and 15.
And you can tell the outside linebackers right now are getting to the outside or getting to the backfield in order, and even right after the snap, they're right there to potentially recover a fumble like that.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on the near side. They'll run the read option, throws it deep, and it's caught for the first down and more. That's Trey Grant again with the catch.
The one person that I said to look out for, I haven't watched any Socastee football all year.
And you can just tell from the beginning.
I can tell who they're trying to go to. And Coach Mark Morris has huddle. He has other teams that he's talked to. You can't not know who their best player is.
1st and 10, ball on the 43-yard line. They'll run the jet sweep. Oh, no, fake jet sweep, and Scott keeps himself. He bounces it out to the outside. He's got one man to beat. He dives into the end zone for the touchdown.
Wow. And that is exactly why you don't run the ball right up the middle on the 4th and 2.
No.
Because you give Socastee an opportunity to only go down by 1 touchdown. You do have 3:12 to go, but knowing Coach Mark Morris, he's going to run the ball right up the middle 3 times. You can tell how mad I am because
this reminds me of Sumter last week.
It does, and with a very much worse opponent.
Yeah.
You can't play with your food. You cannot allow a team that you should be beating to stay within the game.
So the extra point it's already a 1-possession game, but we'll just make it a touchdown game, and it's good, and it's now 21-14 with 3:12 left to go in the half.
Just not how you want that sequence. That entire sequence is right there, and you can't blame the rushing touchdown because there's poor tackling on that play.
Yeah.
On Mark Morris, but you can blame the 4th and 2 play call to run it right up the middle on that play. It is simple Madden strategy to plug the middle on a 4th and short, and yet my 11-year-old sister, looking at the formation from the defense of Socastee on that play, could have told you, hey, I think I know what they're going to do. And it pains me because it takes literally just a pair of eyes saying, okay, hey, this is where they're at, this is what they're going to do. And then even if you really want to run the ball, run to not the middle.
Yeah.
Run to the outside where they're not there. It is common sense.
Are they going for an onside kick here?
It looks like it. No, they're going to squib it.
Oh, they squibbed it. Okay. They were setting up looking like they were going to do an onside kick and decided to squib it, and it's fair caught at the 35-yard line. So that's where Carolina Forest will start with the ball with 3:10 left to go in the first half.
Another thing, they have 4 digits up there. They have the millisecond.
Yeah, they have the milliseconds up there, too.
Tenths of a second up there, and it's throwing me off a little bit, just a little bit. But so this is a chance for the offense to redeem themselves and go into halftime with maybe potentially a 2-position lead. This is not a time to take your foot off the gas pedal.
Shotgun set, 3 wide on the near side. Saylor takes the snap, low snap, hands it off to Gilbert. Gilbert gets a wide open lane, and he's got no one in front of him. 20, 10, 5, touchdown Panthers! Another 1-play drive, and the offense is on fire.
And that kind of tells me to shut the heck up right there. They heard me saying stop. They heard me say stop running the ball right up the middle, and they ran the ball right up the middle. But so here's the difference.
That hole was massive.
Oh, here's the difference, though. Right there, no middle linebackers.
Yeah.
Straight coverage, DBs on the outside, no one right up the middle. That is a position you run the ball right
yeah,
up the middle.
Exactly.
And it makes me look stupid because, don't run the ball right up the middle, as the extra point for JJ is good. But it makes me look stupid because, they just scored on a touchdown. Why are you telling me to stop? It's situational football. It's not that I don't want them to run the football at all. It's just, it has to be situational.
A 1-play, 65-yard drive for the Panthers. And, I mean, we've talked about it before, and we've talked about the passing game and all of that, but the MO needs to be for the offense, take what the defense gives you. if the defense is stacking the box, you pass it. If the defense is leaving the middle of the field wide open and no middle linebacker right there, you run the ball up the gut and take it 65 yards.
And it's almost kind of like what NFL offenses are having to adapt to with now the cover 2 shell defensive revolution. You see you're getting beat by deep plays the entire game. You're going to go to a cover 2 where you have 2 deep safety. And now you're seeing more and more checkdowns from these offenses in the NFL, and the Panthers have to make the same adjustments as they did there.
So J.J. Chaddock will pooch it high. That will be fielded at the 28-yard line, trying to get around the edge, and is able to get it out to around the 44-yard line.
Oh, yeah, 45. Yeah, you're right. So, but here's again, another thing to kind of harp on Coach Mark Morris about. 45, again, I think is greater than 20.
Yeah.
You saw him kick it out of bounds from the 35, and you're kicking from the 45 every time. Why do you maybe for the one chance that they fumble it, but your kicking teams aren't getting down there fast enough. So what difference does it make?
I mean, I guess the only thing I can think of is he's worried about the threat of a fast returner, his coverage team not being good enough to stop them.
But if you kick it out the back of the end zone, it doesn't matter.
No, okay,
and that's what he basically would have done.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
And timeout Socastee.
So Socastee will take a timeout with 2:54 left to go in the half.
And again, I'm gonna elaborate just a little bit more on what I mean when I mean don't run the ball up the middle, because obviously they should.
Yeah.
Obviously they should do it sometimes, but
not when it's
not
third
not when it's 4th and 2.
Yeah.
And you see the box has got 9 people in it,
or not when it's 3rd and 15.
That too. But even then, if the situation calls for it, that's why you see so many halfback draws, because they're expecting a pass and the middle of the field is wide open.
Yeah.
It's situational football, and I don't even think Coach Mark Morris meant to do that. That call was made before he saw the defensive alignment.
He just got
lucky with the play call at the time.
Empty backfield, 5 wide, 3 wide on the near side. They'll run the jet sweep, hand it off, finding a wide open lane, and finally getting pulled down after a big gain is Trey Grant. And he'll get taken down at
2.
that was Rocco.
That was Rocco.
Huh, so I guess the collarbone isn't as bad as we thought. He's able to get hit, apparently.
They probably just don't want him, with how bad these snaps have been, they don't want him getting absolutely rocked back there.
So he'll get the first down and more, take it all the way down to the 31-yard line. Going empty backfield again, 3 wide on the far side. They'll go with the jet sweep. Oh, no, read option. And keeping it himself is Scott, and he'll get taken down at the 25-yard line.
Could we have a little bit of a shootout on our hands?
I think so. I think so.
This was a while back, but do you remember the Saints-Giants game where they scored like 48-45 or something like that? This is what that kind of reminds me of. Just offenses going back and forth, and defense is nowhere to be found. A newer example, the Seattle Seahawks versus the Lions this year.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on either side, running right up the middle and finding a hole is Kadir Scott. He'll spin past one man and gets taken down at around the 3-yard line. And another first down for Socastee.
What is this game right now?
What this game has just gone from pretty methodical, both teams just kind of running the ball, to the last 4 minutes have just been nonstop action.
That's how I like it.
This is your kind of game, that's for sure. Shotgun set, trips on the far side. They'll try to run the jet sweep. No, they decide to throw it instead. Throw it into the back of the end zone, and it's caught in the back of the end zone by number 9, Zach Starkey, for a touchdown.
And they just lost him in the back of the end zone. He was wide open. It was a bad throw, which is why he had a toe tap it in the back of the end zone. Just losing a guy in the back of the end zone is not what you want in the red zone.
Now my question is, was that designed that way, or did Kadir Scott just notice that there was nowhere to run and noticed Starkey in the back of the end zone?
Probably a little bit of both.
Maybe a little bit of both.
He was on a route going across as the extra point is good, so that will take the game to 28-21. And probably a little, and like I was saying, probably a little bit of both. Probably we lost him, so he was just kind of sitting in the back of the end zone. Just a little bit of both. And I swear to God, there's 1:16 left on this clock.
Go for it, especially with how this game has been.
Look, I'm gonna breathe and hope that Mark Morris actually does his job.
Or maybe we just get lucky and another 65-yard touchdown run is broken.
So in the past 2 minutes of game time, there have been 3 touchdowns.
Yep.
The Quadir Scott rushing touchdown, the one-play touchdown from Zion Gilbert, and then the Quadir Scott passing touchdown to Zach Starkey. All in the past 2 minutes of game time. What a game. What a game so far.
What a last 3 minutes of the first half. Assuming that these next minute 16 seconds keep on going. And again, now I'm assuming it's going to be a squib kick, but again, the Socastee, oh no, they will go with the onside kick.
And he got it.
And
they got
Socastee got it.
Wow.
Maybe that was the strategy last time. Set up in that formation. Don't do the onside kick the first time, and so as to confuse the return team, and then on the second try, go for it. And it worked to a T.
It worked very well. But now this defense, they cannot let up a score.
No, because this, I mentioned it earlier, but now even more so, especially if Socastee is able to score here, this reminds me of the Sumter game. So it's 1st and 10 on the 50-yard line for Socastee. They'll run the play action, throws it, and just a little incomplete. Tried to get it to tried to get it to Green, but just a little off target.
And I don't know. I don't know how much time would have to be left on the clock for Mark Morris to go for it. If they punt right here.
Now, the good thing is that the Panthers get the ball back
to start the second half.
Yes.
But if Socastee scores here, I think you still press the gas pedal just a little bit. You take one deep shot and see where you're at.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on either side. Scott takes a snap, 3-step drop, looking down the far side, throws it high. Trey Grant was the intended target.
And another incomplete pass. There's still 1:04 left on this clock. Maybe 5 seconds run this off, and if there's another incomplete pass or Mark Morris, I think if they complete a pass but are short of the 4th down and in punting territory, if Mark Morris calls a timeout, we'll see. That'll give us a good indication on whether he's going to press the gas pedal.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on either side.
Got to get off the field in 3rd and long, though.
They'll run the jet sweep, handing it off, and great. Oh, no, able to break the tackle, but a great job by the Panther defense. A prowl of Panthers surround Rocco Wojcik. Wojcik actually getting a lot of jet sweep opportunities, getting the wide receiver opportunities, but this time he was wrapped up quickly, and it is now 4th and long.
And I think, Carolina Forest did call a timeout with 49 seconds to go. And I will be so mad if he presses the gas pedal in this situation, but didn't do it. This is the exact same situation.
And with actually less time.
It baffles me. And maybe this is a learning curve, and he's actually
learned from the mistakes of Oceanside and Sumter.
But we thought the Demons had been exercised the first half of the Sumter game until that clock management issue. We thought the Demons had been gone away demoned. They've been exercised. But it just pains me. It really does.
So it's 4th and 10 from the 50. And Rocco Wojcik comes out to punt it away.
But now that we've seen him run the ball, if he's in a sticky situation, you got to be weary of him running the football for a first down.
I don't think at this point they do. Oh wow, they do. You were right. They don't get it to Wojcik, but they do hand it off to, they direct snapped it to O'Keefe, and he tried to take it around the outside on the far side, but gets pushed out of bounds right at the 50-yard line. So that's where the Panthers will start with the ball with 42.2 seconds left to go in the half.
And now I will be really mad if we don't go for it. Because we're at the 50-yard line, and we've seen
if you're just trying to get a field goal.
And even if you just throw a screen pass to Anthony Aponte, we've already seen that break open for a big gain already.
So we'll see if the Panthers step on the gas pedal here.
There are 3 safeties back. I would like to point that out. There are 3 safeties back for the Socastee defense.
So they're playing basically prevent defense. Play action pass. Sailor goes deep. Throws it wide open to Schuessler. And he makes the catch.
And that was Owen Hall.
Oh, no, that was Owen Hall who made the catch.
Owen Hall caught that down at the 7-yard line. And that is why this is just making me more mad because it shows that he will do it.
It shows that this team is capable of playing this style of play.
And it almost shows you how much they missed Owen Hall last week when they didn't have him against Sumter.
So that's another Tony McAfee State Farm Carolina Forest first down. They'll run the speed option, pitches it out, and stepping into the end zone is Khalil Johnson for the touchdown.
Why could we not have done this last week? Oh, my God.
Hey, you know what?
At least we're doing it this week?
Well, not just that. At least if they can learn from this, and this proves that the offense can run well, and if you just let them do what they do, maybe they get a hot streak and make a run in the playoffs. At least they're getting hot when it matters most, as the extra point is up and good, and with 20 seconds left to go in the half, it is now 35-21 Panthers.
What a last 3 minutes.
Oh, my God. What a last 3 minutes of this first half. 28 points have been scored in the last 3 minutes.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Indeed. If you're a fan of offense like Preston is, you are most certainly entertained by this game right now.
Is that how you spell entertained? I can't spell entertained. Entertained? Entertained.
Yes.
Are you not entertained?
You are correct.
Are you not entertained? What a sequence. What a sequence. And these first half stats are going to be some of the best we've seen all year.
I can't wait to see the first half stats.
We are going to see probably the most passing yards Scotty has seen all season in the first half.
Yeah.
He has a 60, I know it's a screen pass, but he has the 60-yard touchdown.
And he has what? Three or four passing touchdowns. As the
No, it's not that.
Kick is up and it's fielded at the 35-yard line, taken down to the 40.
He has 3. He has 3 because Zion had a rushing touchdown and Khalil Johnson just had the rushing touchdown.
You're right.
I mean, I probably could tell you based on going back. But either way, he has 3 touchdowns. But on top of that, you have the long pass to Owen Hall, Aponte, and Nathan Schuessler.
And also to Mahood. Didn't he get one?
No, Mahood had the out route.
Oh, you're right.
And actually, he has 2 passing touchdowns because Zion Gilbert had.
Shotgun set 3 wide on the near side. A little short dump out pass is caught by number 9, Jack Starkey, and he takes it out of bounds at the 48-yard line.
8.5 seconds to go, so maybe they have a timeout. So they have 2 timeouts, so they can work the middle of the field.
And you were saying before we went on the air that their kicker was kicking it from the 30-yard line.
And so maybe kind of a deep out route to get your kicker some space on what either hash he wants.
Shotgun set 3 wide on the far side, rolling out to his right and throwing it to the sideline. It is incomplete.
Incomplete? Yeah, incomplete. And now there's 3.5, and now you got to take a shot at the end zone. And if they go Hail Mary here, they're bringing Nate Schuessler out.
Makes sense.
And it does make sense. He's probably the best deep ball catcher on the field.
They they have Nate Schuessler basically playing center field out there.
Yeah.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on either side. Scott gets a snap, 3-step drop, now steps up into the pocket, calls for a receiver to go long, throws it, and throws it a little too far. Trying to get it out to Josh Brown, but it falls incomplete, and that's how the first half ends after a very wild last 3 minutes of the second quarter. The Panthers go into the locker room with the lead, 35-21. We'll take a quick break and come right back with some first half stats and analysis and get you ready for the second half here on the Carolina Forest Panther Football Network.
Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights. We switch TV channels. Some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, State Farm agent Tony McAfee, right here in Carolina Forest, can switch you over so you can start saving today. Tony and his team are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. With Tony McAfee, it's easy to switch and save. Just give him a call. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
At Brave Stadium with the Panthers leading Socastee 35-21. And before we get to the first half stats, we'll go look at the players at the next level on both of these teams. Last week for Carolina Forest alums, David Leggett rushed for a yard and Kyle Watkins caught one pass for 17 yards. This week Campbell travels to Jackson State, Coastal travels to Marshall, and East Carolina faces UCF. For Socastee, they have one player currently at the college level, and then probably the most well-known Socastee Brave right now, and has a fellow namesake who was in the baseball playoffs, but not anymore, Hunter Renfrow, at Las Vegas Raiders. Last week, Kenny Solomon had one solo tackle and one assist. That one assist was a tackle for a loss. This week, Tulsa travels to Temple. They play tonight, and the Vegas Raiders face off against the Texans on Sunday. Renfrow, the son of former AD and head coach here at Socastee, Tim Renfro. And we have an update in the region on the Sumter versus St. James game. Not really all that surprising. And like we've talked about, this may be a bit of a litmus test and one of those transitive property type situations. But Sumter is beating St. James 28-7.
Yeah, that score is probably a what we kind of expected. But there was kind of some leeway as to whether or not it was actually going to be what we thought it was going to be. But with Socastee or with Sumter well in position for that win. Jeez,
Yeah.
Had a stroke. We can go ahead and assume next week with a win here,
Yes.
it will be for second place.
Yes.
In the region.
Yes. Assuming Sumter keeps that lead, which you would assume that they will. Looking ahead real quick, assuming that next week is for either the 2 or the 3 seed, like we talked about, either way, it will be a home game for Carolina Forest. If the Panthers are the number 2 seed, they would face off against the number 3 seed of Region 4. If they are the 3 seed, they would face off against the number 4 seed of Region 6. So looking at the standings as of right now, in Region 4, the number 3 seed is River Bluff. And that's probably who it would be. Or it could potentially be a rematch against Chapin again. As it was from last year. And in terms of Region 6, if they are the 3 seed and they face off against the Region 6 4 seed, as of right now, it could very well be a rematch from earlier this season against Stratford, who the Panthers were able to beat earlier this season. And it could also be against either Wando, probably Wando, if anyone else. But
that region is horrible.
Yeah.
Region 6 is horrid.
Yeah, Region 6 is definitely the weakest out of the 3 purely lower state regions. Region 4 is a weird hybrid where they're both in the upper state and upper state and lower state. And it kind of all depends upon where you fall in terms of the rankings, or in terms of the standings, depending upon if you're playing upper state or lower state. So, I don't know. Would you, in that sort of situation, especially as a player, would you rather face against a team that you've already beaten before, or would you rather face against a team that you've never seen before?
I'd rather play I don't know as a player, but as me, I'd rather play Stratford again. You know you can beat them.
But at the same time, they've seen you before.
But you can also say that for the other side, too. You've already seen them, and I highly doubt that game is as close if we've already seen them the first time.
True. Still waiting on... Oh, actually, I take that back. Here we have some stats.
Why are you disrespecting Ian like that?
We have some stats, courtesy of Ian Guerin. Rushing yards, wow. Zion Gilbert, 11 rushes for 129 yards in the first half alone, along with 2 touchdowns.
Wow.
Khalil Johnson, 3 rushes for 13 yards and a touchdown. For Socastee, Kadir Scott has 5 attempts for 93 yards and a touchdown. Rocco Wojcik, 2 attempts for 24 yards. Passing-wise, Scotty Saylor has gone 5 of 7 for 152 yards and 2 touchdowns. So you were right, it was only 2 touchdowns. Yeah. And for Socastee, Kadir Scott, 7 of 15 for 92 yards and 2 touchdowns of his own. kind of surprising this, but I guess it's because of that huge touchdown run. Well, that's pretty much all of the that's all of the yards he got. Although I feel like that's low, unless there's some negative yards or something.
Yeah.
But Anthony Aponte, two catches for 54 yards. Because
yeah, that's right. That's right, because he had a screen that went for no gain.
You're
and
right.
Then that big 54-yarder.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. So, two catches for 54 yards and a touchdown. Nathan Schuessler only has one catch.
But that one catch was that 43-yard
touchdown. Yeah. And then for Socastee, Zach Starkey has 4 catches for 50 yards and 2 touchdowns.
And those 4 catches are the two screens and then the 2 ones where it was set up by play action. And the best pure receiver for Socastee so far has been Trey Grant. But I think Starkey has been put into positions to succeed, which is why he has been succeeding. And that's kind of the difference. Like the scheming people open, like I was saying for Nate Schuessler that they should have done at the end of the Sumter game. That is what it should have been. That is what they're doing. That's what Socastee's doing with Starkey.
And some other interesting stats that if you look at the scoreboard, and this is kind of the reverse of what we were talking about with the Sumter game. If you look at the scoreboard, you would think that, the Panthers are dominating this game right now. But penalties. Carolina Forest only 2 penalties for 20 yards. Socastee 3 penalties for 30 yards. First downs. Carolina Forest has 10. Socastee has 9. So very even.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see how this game goes moving forward. The Panthers should be in the driver's seat right now.
Yeah.
Up by 14 points, getting the ball back to start the second half.
Yeah.
But that's going to be the key, is whether they keep their foot on the gas pedal or if they let up a bit.
And I think it shows that Mark Morris was able to put his foot on the gas pedal and say, okay, you know what, we're gonna go. I think that's a good sign for later. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it all depends on whether or not Coach Mark Morris believes that his team can still score touchdowns and keep this lead without making mistakes.
Which he
should.
But I think one of the problems that, and I think it's also been it's been for the most part just his inherent more slow-paced, methodical offense, focus on running the ball and all of that.
Yeah.
But what hasn't helped when it comes to Mark Morris changing his offense a little bit has been the fact that, at least against better teams, when he has decided to change it up a bit, then mistakes have happened.
Yeah.
Like with Sumter and like with Somerville.
Right. And I think with that all being said,
yeah,
the run game has been very effective.
Yes, it has been.
The passing game has been very, very effective. Now it is up to Coach Mark Morris to just say, okay, hey, they have 9 people in the box. Maybe I shouldn't run the football. Or maybe at the very least I should run a run to the outside.
And I know, and this is something else we've talked about before this season. And I know it's harder in high school with less technology, and you're not going to give your players as much autonomy as you would in college or the NFL. But you need to be able to see that and either have like a Peyton Manning type situation. I know obviously Scott Taylor is not Peyton Manning, but
Omaha.
Have two plays
called
called at the same time, and based on what you see defensively, you call one of the two.
So with how much time they spend in between plays looking to the sideline.
Yeah.
Coach Mark Morris should be able to see the defensive setup and say, okay,
True.
that's the play that we're going with.
Yeah.
They have time to do that because they do it anyway.
Yeah, true.
They just decide to pick the wrong play.
Yeah.
It is Socastee's homecoming, so a
little bit of an extended
halftime.
Yeah.
Still 3.5 minutes to go on until they start warming up again. But you know how much it must suck for Socastee football because they couldn't plan out a homecoming game that was for them. You know how like most teams like schedule a homecoming game that is an easy opponent?
Yeah.
I guess we're the easiest?
No.
Conway? Like I don't know.
I guess you wouldn't have your homecoming game normally towards the beginning of the season. Like so because when was ours was against Conway, right?
No, ours was Stratford.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So that's what I thought.
No, it was North Myrtle Beach.
It
was North Myrtle.
But still, it was a non-region game.
Yeah.
So, especially in a region like this where you're only playing 4 region games, so only 2 home region games, you would think, like you're saying, you would think you'd want to have a win on homecoming, so you would want to schedule homecoming against one of your weaker non-region opponents.
Although with the record of 2-6,
yeah, they haven't really had
that there's an easy opponent for Socastee. But so that brings up an interesting point. This defense has still given up 21 first half points.
Yeah,
they didn't. But that's also what I'm saying. And this, you know what this is setting up to be? This is setting to be the same pattern that we've seen all year. Offense played really well. Defense did not play as well as we think they should have. In the second half, if our pattern is correct, it'll be defense will play up,
well,
but the offense teeters out and gets kind of halted or stopped just a little bit.
So, normally you wouldn't want to have your homecoming so early, but the one game on their schedule that would have made sense was against Silver Bluff.
Wasn't that like their second game of the season?
Yeah, it was. I know you wouldn't want to have it that early.
Yeah,
so
you don't want to have it that early. Yeah, they're just SOL on that one.
Yeah. But both teams coming out onto the field now to start stretching and getting ready for the second half. And like you mentioned, I think the key is just, keep doing what you've been doing.
Yeah,
you don't really need to change anything.
You don't need it. If I have a vase and I don't break it, I don't hurt it, it doesn't crack, it doesn't get dusty. You know what I don't do to it? I don't clean it.
Nope.
I don't fix it.
Nope.
I don't do anything to it. It's perfect the way it is. Why would I change it?
Exactly.
I think you get what I'm putting down. And I'm being sarcastic and whatever other word you want to use. I have a word for it, but I can't say that on air.
Yes.
But at the same time, like you can't just like settle. You know what I mean?
No,
you can't be comfortable with a 14-point. If I'm Mark Morris right now, I'm continuing the momentum my offense gave me at the end of that half. I'm taking another shot. I'm taking another deep shot. Because why? Because why not? The defense has shown that they cannot stop you. So go out and score. Just go out and score. As that will be the end of the actual halftime period, and now the 3-minute warm-up period will start. And I cannot see I'm trying to find a update if there is one on the Sumter game, but I couldn't tell when they went to halftime.
Yeah, well, they went to halftime a few minutes ago. They went to half at 16 minutes ago. So
they're probably just now coming out of halftime.
Yeah. So they'll probably start halftime about the same time as we will.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
even Ian Guerin didn't know who won the toss. His tweet from an hour ago, right when the game started, said Socastee has won the toss and will receive kickoff in maybe 5 to 6 minutes. So either he was talking about the time. I think he was talking about the time.
Yeah.
Either the time, or he was talking about who actually won the toss.
Yeah.
That's how I read it the first time.
Yeah.
But I don't read here on the College Sports Football Network either. So.
We don't do much of anything, do we?
We don't do nothing. Not a dang thing.
But I think if the Panthers can continue playing the way they have been, this is great momentum, not only for next week, which, like we talked about during the pregame show, this game tonight for St. James is a big litmus test for them.
Yeah.
Because the only other two teams in the region that they faced off against was Socastee and Conway, who are the two solar dwellers, it seems. But this is a good test for the Panthers to see, okay, we can win. Now, granted, it seems like Socastee, well, if they lose this game, they're guaranteed to be at the basement of Region 5. But they, being able to beat the teams you're supposed to beat is a good sign.
It's a sign of a good team. So, can you go back to the region standings for the entire state of South Carolina? Because right now, Berkeley is beating Stratford 6-0 at halftime. And if I did, I was right.
Yep.
Berkeley is right now in last place at 0-2 in the region, but Stratford is 1-1 right ahead of them.
So if Berkeley were to win, that would push Berkeley up to 4 and Stratford down to 5, and Berkeley would have the tiebreaker.
So that would be if we were second
we would face off against Berkeley, who they did see in the preseason.
That's right. They
scrimmaged them.
That is right. I do remember that. Yes, I remember you being told about that. I didn't go to the game.
We didn't get a chance to go, but it did happen.
As that is the second half.
Oh, actually, I take that back.
I thought it was.
No. You were right, but it's not if we're number 2. If we're number 2, it's against the region.
It's the region.
It's the region 4 number 3.
Yeah. Okay.
So that would be either River Bluff or Chapin.
So, I know no one's gonna purposely lose, but honestly, we might have a better matchup if we are the 3 seed than we do this 2 seed.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? Like, and obviously,
just
going off of what Chapin was last year.
Well,
and
either way, because a number 4 seed would obviously be worse than the number 3 seed.
That is true.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
but even the 3 seed in that is still 1 and 2.
1 and 2,
in the region, and 2 and 6 overall. And
that's the weakest region, I would have to say, probably in the state in 5A.
And Socastee's going to kick it, and it's going to be a squib this time, not an onside kick, as it goes over Nathan Schuessler's head, and he's going to try to make something out of nothing. He makes one guy miss. He's going to get up the middle and stays on his feet and eventually brought down at the 44-yard line. But what a return by Nate.
What a great job breaking some tackles and finding an open lane a little bit and able to break it out all the way out to the 43-yard line.
There were about 5 times where I thought he was going to go down, and he did not go down. And then there was one time where it looked like he had the middle of the field wide open, and then 3 or 4 Braves fell upon him.
So the Panthers will start with the ball at their own 43-yard line on this first drive of the second half. And this is what you were talking about. The whole team is looking over to the sideline, and the defense doesn't fully get set up until they make the play call. So shotgun set, 2 wide on the near side. They'll hand it off. Breaking through the gap is Gilbert, and he'll get taken down at the 48-yard line.
So they're not exactly set, but you can see in general what they're doing. Like the defense.
You
can see in general where they're going to be lined up at. And most of the time it mirrors the wide receivers on the outside.
Yeah.
So if you want to run the ball right up the middle, just spread your wide receivers out. But on the play that they went backwards on 4th and 2, they had everybody bunched in.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side. Saylor takes the snap, hands it off to Gilbert. Gilbert trying to break through the hole and gets taken down at the 49-yard line. That'll be a gain of 3, and it'll be 3rd and 2.
And Zion is more and more every single week taking over that workhorse role.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see, obviously this is way down the road, but Khalil Johnson and Zion Gilbert next season, what their roles are respectively.
Because this does kind of remind me of last year with Khalil Johnson and Luke Janak, as it's shotgun set, 2 wide on the near side. Saylor takes a snap, hands it off to Johnson again. He breaks through the hole, gets a first down and more. Gets taken down at the 44-yard line, and that'll be enough for a Tony McAfee State Farm Carolina Forest first down. But, Gilbert's a sophomore. Johnson was a sophomore last year and then took over the head role presumably this year, but now Zion Gilbert is more of the head back. And now next year, even with Khalil Johnson being a senior, it may be more so Zion Gilbert's job to lose for next year. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the near side. They'll play action, pass it, throw it high up to Alec Youngblood. Youngblood gets all the way down to the 30-yard line, and that'll be enough for another Tony McAfee State Farm Carolina Forest first down. Nice play action pass there, right there. Just a little hitch route to Alec Youngblood, and he was left wide open right in the flat and was able to make the catch.
But you want to know why he was left wide open? Because, like I've said time and time again, play action sucks linebackers into the offensive line and defensive line.
And not only sucked the linebacker in, but sucked the cornerback in, too. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side. They'll hand it off to Khalil Johnson. Khalil Johnson tries to move with the offensive line and gets taken down at the 27-yard line for a gain of 3.
And this is the difference between... your wording is the difference between Zion and Khalil. Khalil was running behind the offensive line. Zion runs in front of and runs through the defensive players. That's the difference in schemes. And right now, you see that the defense is set up in two cornerbacks and 2 high safety. So maybe a slant route underneath is what you should run. But instead, you don't take what the defense is giving you and you line up exactly the opposite of that.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side. 5-step drop for Saylor. He'll throw it deep. And...
did he get it? Oh, he didn't get his feet in. What a throw and catch. He just let him a little too far and was not able to get his... Nathan Schuessler was not able to get his feet in.
Great post route by Nathan Schuessler, though. And he almost caught it in the back of the end zone, but just could not quite keep his feet in. Not sure if he had complete possession of the ball when he came down anyway.
That is a good sign, though, that that Mark Morris is willing to take those deep shots.
So it is now 3rd and 7. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side. Saylor takes the snap, hands it off. Read option. Saylor keeps it himself. He breaks it to the outside. He'll go into the end zone for the touchdown.
And
what a read option play. I got fooled. I thought he handed it off to Khalil Johnson.
That might be one of the most successful read option plays that Scotty has kept all season. Scotty does not run the football very often for big gain, but when he does, it is a big gain. And right there, the offense just keeps on clicking.
So that'll extend the lead out to 41, this extra point, to extend the lead to a 21-point lead. The kick is up and good, and with 8:34 left to go in the third quarter, it is 42-21, Panthers in the lead.
And just like that, this game gets a little bit more safe.
Yeah.
And we start to forget about, the botched play call on 4th down, and we start to forget about all those other things.
And that's something that you always have to learn in any sport, is you have to move on from the last play.
Yeah.
Just have to keep on looking forward.
Except when you continue to make that same mistake on that wrong play.
Yes, you need to learn from your mistakes, but you can't dwell on those mistakes.
Yeah. But we've also seen from Mark Morris that he hasn't been able to learn from said mistakes.
Well, yes.
So I get what you're saying, and it is true, but you also have to kind of take take a little bit of grain of salt with what he's doing. As the kick is up and caught at the 26-yard line, and it's going to break to the outside, and he's still up, and it will get pushed out of bounds at what looks to be about the 40-yard line. It'll depend on where the exact spot is. They're going to mark him right at the 39-yard line. So that's where Socastee will start out. And the offense did its job.
Yep.
Offense got a touchdown, give this defense a 3-touchdown lead, and now it's up to the defense to get a stop for the first time in 2 drives, I should say. It'll be interesting to see what the defense does to stop this offense, because I don't think it's one specific thing that they've been doing. It's a little bit of passing, it's a little bit of the run game, it's a little bit of everything. It's a little bit of the QB run game with Scott.
The offense has just been firing on all cylinders. As they'll go empty backfield, they'll run a read option jet sweep. Kadir Scott keeps it himself and falls forward to the 42-yard line for a gain of 3.
Not a bad defensive play there. You limit the run to 3 yards, but you gotta hold them for less than 3 yards or for a loss at some point. You can't just allow them 3 yards, because 3 yards on every play will get you down the field very fast.
They'll go empty backfield again. 5 wide, 3 on the near side, 2 on the far side. Runs the jet sweep again. This time they do hand it off, trying to bounce it inside, and gets pulled down by a prowl of Panthers is number 3, Trey Grant. After he gains 2, and it'll now be 3rd and 4.
And 3rd and 4 is more or less where Carolina Force has been all year on defense. 3rd and 4 to 3rd and 6 and shorter.
Mm-hmm.
Very rarely have they gotten off the field on these 3rd and 4s through 3rd and 6. It's 3rd and medium. You have to get off the field. That's what good defense do. They get off the field on 3rd and 6 and shorter.
Empty backfield. They'll run the fake jet sweep again. Kadir Sky keeps it himself, is able to get the first down, and gets taken down at the 50-yard line.
And it not getting off the field on first down. For the 3rd down.
It looks like the Socastee offense is changing gears a little bit, changing to this empty backfield look and going with a lot of jet sweeps and fake jet sweeps.
Because it's very clear that their running backs are not that good. So get your best players, the football, i.e. Trey Grant and Scott, to get out of the open space.
But Caden O'Keefe does come into the game now. Shotgun set. They'll run the read option, and Scott will keep the ball and gets taken down at the 44-yard line.
This is going to be an interesting drive, because can Carolina Force get a stop?
Yeah.
Is this game going to just be 3-touchdown lead, 2-touchdown lead, 3-touchdown lead, 2-touchdown lead the entire game? You know what I mean? Like, it can't be back and forth the entire time.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on either side. They'll run the design quarterback sneak, and Scott will get taken down at the 40-yard line.
They're going to give him the first down here.
Yep.
Barely, but they're going to give it to him.
So that'll be another first down for Socastee, and it'll be 1st and 10 from the 40.
Just now you have to respect the QB run. They've done it basically 4 straight plays. You have to respect it. You have to account for it on all sides of the football.
6 minutes left to go in the 3rd quarter. 42-21, Panthers in the lead. Shotgun set, 3 wide on the far side. 3-step drop, screen pass out, is caught, it looked like he fumbled it for a second, but he held on to it. That is number 9, Zach Starkey, who makes the catch on the screen pass, but is only able to get 1 yard.
And we've heard his name a time or two.
Yeah.
And this is why they're not passing the ball, because when they pass the ball, it's a 1-yard gain, and they're not being able to throw the ball down the field outside of that first touchdown drive Socastee had.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on either side. High snap. They'll run the fake jet sweep, and now that's actually Wojciech out there who had. Excuse me. I thought I saw number 2.
Wojciech was out there, but he was running a route off the play action that Scott had, and it was. I can see where he was trying to go with the football, but the window was just too tight. And that's something that I wish Scotty would have learned last week, was that sometimes you don't have to force the ball into that tight of a space.
Well, but that's what helps having a more mobile quarterback, is that Scott is able to move out of the pocket and run for a couple of yards if he needs to. Empty backfield, 3 wide on the far side. He'll throw it deep, or throw it on a little in route, and it's caught by Trey Grant for the first down.
And this Socastee offense is still moving the football, and it's a 3-touchdown lead right now, but you don't want to just give them points. You don't want this to be a high-scoring game.
But at the same time, the way that Socastee is moving the ball, it's using up a lot of clock.
It is.
Already under 5 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Shotgun set, 2 wide on either side. Scott takes a snap. Fake. Oh, no, does hand it off for the jet sweep. Trying to break it around the corner and does. Gets the first down and more.
That was Rocco.
Is Rocco Wojcik.
That just shows his speed. That shows that his legs were not injured.
No.
It was his arm. And not even his throwing arm at that. It was just his left arm.
And obviously it's not bad enough to where they're worried about him getting hit, causing it to have any more damage. Shotgun set, 2 wide on either side. Scott, fakes the handoff. He'll keep it himself. Breaks through the line and is able to get into the end zone for the touchdown on the midline read option.
This game is just going to go three touchdown lead, 2 touchdowns. Yeah. This is just going to be a very – and Quadir Scott is over 100 yards rushing today. So if that tells you anything, that should tell you a lot. And that was 3 minutes ago before that rushing touchdown.
So with 4.5 left to go in the third quarter, this extra point will make it 42-28.
And maybe.
The kick is up.
And good.
And good. And I doubt we get to this level. And I'm assuming that this is the highest scoring game that the Panthers were ever involved in. But do you think we get to West Brunswick level of scoring?
Where you score dang 70 points
Where we're able to score 70 and then West Brunswick proceeds to score 42?
Yeah, maybe. That was one of our higher margins
it was
of
the
victory.
No, it wasn't, because
that's right. Because 70 was the tie.
It was tied for the most points scored by the Panthers, but because they allowed West Brunswick to score 42, it was not one of the higher margins of victory.
That was actually the highest scoring football game in Carolina Forest history.
Well, tied for it. Along with St. James.
In games.
Oh, no.
Game total.
Yes. No, but that's what I'm saying. Do you think we could get to near that level?
Because of how much Socastee is scoring, as
they go with the squib kick.
Pick up the squib kick, and he's taking his time, and he will get taken down right at the 35 is like what they're going to mark him at. But like to your point, with how the rate at which both teams are scoring, that is basically 2 times what West Brunswick in our game was.
Yeah.
What did you say, the 70-40?
I think it was 70-42, if I remember correctly. I don't have it in the notes, but
I want to say it was 70-42, something like that. I think you're right. But that's, 112 points? That's a lot of points. Maybe it was in that first?
70-41.
70-41. So that is a lot of points. So maybe, but maybe not. Yeah. I don't know.
I think they'll at least get close. As it's shotgun set, 3 wide on the near side, they'll hand it off to Gilbert. Gilbert bounces off of one tackler and gets taken down right by the first down marker. They will say he's just a yard short. Mark him down at the 45-yard line, and they'll set up 2nd and 1.
So all Socastee needs to do is score 2 more touchdowns for that. And then we just need to score... How many more? Wait. 4 more? 4 more.
Yeah.
So maybe, but...
Yeah, it's certainly possible.
Especially if we score like we were at the end of the first half.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on the near side along with the H-back. They'll hand it off to Gilbert. Gilbert tries to get through the hole, breaks one tackle and carries a couple of Braves all the way down to the 47-yard line. And that'll be enough for a Tony McAfee State Farm Carolina Forest first down. And something I meant to mention it when they were setting up for the kickoff. Again, they set up like they were going to go onside kick. Do you think that the Braves go for that at any point, especially if they continue scoring the way they have been?
If they get a stop and then score, I think it's very possible that they go for another onside because that's a situation where you could win the game based off of that onside.
Shotgun set. 2 wide on the far side. Saylor takes a snap, hands it off to Johnson. Johnson breaks through a couple of tackles and gets taken down at the 39-yard line. And that'll be an 8-yard carry for Khalil Johnson.
Hey, Khalil Johnson doing his best Zion Gilbert impression right there.
Yeah, really.
And was able to break through a couple tackles and get a gain of 8, and that is a really good gain. And
the running game's actually starting to get some momentum.
But you also take that with a grain of salt because of who the opponent is.
True.
We know that Socastee is not all that.
Very true. Shotgun set, 3 wide on the far side. Moving into the H-back position as they hand it off to Gilbert. He'll try to plow forward to the first down marker,
That was
but gets
Johnson on that one, I believe.
Yeah.
Johnson
You were
Johnson
right.
was on the carry. But
I
either way,
meant to say Johnson.
Either way, he was grabbed and basically tugged backwards. And this is a big 3rd and 1.
Got stopped just short.
This is like 3rd and probably right at a yard. This is 3rd and a true yard. You want to know what this defensive formation reminds me of?
What?
The 4th and 2 play from the beginning of the first. They're all at the line.
Yeah, they're stacking the box.
It's engage 8. That's what this defense is right now.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on the near side. They'll hand it off to Khalil Johnson, and like you mentioned, that engage 8 stacking the box. I think there were at least 4. Well, I think there were 4 linebackers behind 4 defensive linemen. And so that makes it 4th and 1 from the 39-yard line. And you have to imagine, you'd have to imagine the Panthers are going to go for it here.
And they're in the exact same set.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on the near side along with the H-back. And now they're calling. They thought someone moved, and now they're looking over to the sideline for another play. Maybe they're starting to learn.
My God.
And now Carolina Forest has to call a timeout.
So
maybe they were learning there that because Scott pointed to the defensive front and then looked over to the sideline, presumably saying, "Hey, I need another play."
I think that was more because Socastee had tried to jump offside.
Oh, okay.
So that's why the play took so long to get snaps, was because the offense was pointing at the other side saying, hey, that was offside, without actually moving. Like, they jumped, but no offensive lineman flinched to draw the offside.
Yeah.
I swear, if they come out in that same kind of triple option type formation and don't run an actual triple option, run it right up the middle, and Socastee is in that engage 8 defense again, I swear I'm going to log off. I'm going to go home right now. I don't care if we win. I don't care. Because it might not matter in this game, but it will matter
come playoff
time. And we literally saw that. When did we see that? Saw that. How long ago was Sumter? Last week. Oh my God! It's almost like history repeats itself. Holy crap! And I'm being facetious.
Yes,
but
of course.
At the same time, you have to learn at some point.
Yeah. And looks like they're kind of set up in that exact same formation.
Well, they're in engage 8, but they have 2 on the near side, and Zion Gilbert's in the game. But if this is a run up the middle, I'm gonna cry. Because they actually have 9 because they have the 2 cornerbacks on the outside.
And the safety is up. So they take the
my
snap,
God.
and they are going to hand it off, but Gilbert is able to get it. And
he's
bounces it out to the outside and gets pushed out of bounds at the 15-yard line.
So right there, Socastee did literally everything right. But it just so happened that Carolina Forces, I don't know what the parents are yelling about.
I don't know either, but some Socastee fans in front of us are not happy about something. But I think what it was that they noticed that they were engaged 8.
But you see where that run ended at?
On the outside.
He was trending to the outside.
Yeah.
It was a kind of a counter play, if you will, to get him to the outside.
Exactly. And that's the key. Shotgun set 2 wide on the near side as they hand it off
Johnson on that
And
one.
Khalil Johnson, yes,
Yeah.
you are correct, and he gets a gain of 4.
And the third quarter is already winding down. We only have 45 seconds left. That was a quick third quarter.
Well, because there was a lot of running.
A lot of running and a lot of Socastee just kind of holding the ball for no real reason.
So it'll be 2nd and 7, ball on the 14-yard line. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the near side. Sailor takes the snap, hands it off to Khalil Johnson. Sailor keeps it himself and is almost dragged into the end zone, but finally gets pulled down at the 3-yard line.
I would assume that's the last play of the third quarter, even with the stoppage.
Brett Smith made the tackle, but in the process of trying to pull Scott down, he almost pulled Scott into the end zone. And, it looks like the Panthers are just going to step off the field and get ready for the fourth quarter as the clock runs down to 0. And that will end the third quarter with the score 42-28, Panthers in the lead. One final quarter here at Socastee. And we will take a quick break and come right back with more Carolina Forest Panther action here on the Carolina Forest Panther Football Network.
Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights. We switch TV channels. Some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, State Farm agent Tony McAfee, right here in Carolina Forest, can switch you over so you can start saving today. Tony and his team are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. With Tony McAfee, it's easy to switch and save. Just give him a call. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Start of the fourth quarter coming up, and the Panthers look to finish this one off strong, up 42-21. Or, 42-28. Forgot about that last touchdown.
Yeah, I figured that. So, I know you're going to say no, but do I get to do my country accent for the fourth quarter since we're in a kind of a blowout?
No.
Gosh, darn it.
I know you're just going to squeeze it in anyway. So
I've done it a few times. I don't know if you've noticed.
I've noticed, all right. I've noticed.
On our way home last week, this will be in our second half blowout type of notes, but on the way home from last week, I had my country accent going on.
Oh, yeah, he was cracking me up.
I was trying to keep you awake. I wasn't trying to go to sleep. I wasn't trying to fall asleep on the way home from something last week.
I understand.
I was trying to keep myself awake. That's really what it was.
Yeah. So, shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side. Panthers in the red zone. Sailor takes the snap, hands it off to Johnson, and he will get held up right at the line, and he will be just short of the goal line. They'll mark him down at the 1-yard line.
And QB sneak. No need to oversimplify this one. QB sneak.
What they need is that offense that Sumter was running, where they went wildcat and just plowed it in.
That works if you have a really good running back.
Yeah, that's true. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side. They'll hand it off to Khalil Johnson, and this time he will no, they're going to mark him short again. I thought he just got over the plane.
So, okay, and Zion Gilbert, this was the point I was going to make. Why is Zion Gilbert not in? He's your power back, and Khalil Johnson's going to come off the field, and Zion Gilbert should have been on first and
for the
down
first
anyway.
time, yeah.
I don't know why you don't just...
Well, it's the same thing we've talked about all season long. It seems like any sort of strategy as a timeout is called, I believe, by Socastee.
I can't tell. They haven't taken a timeout off the scoreboard yet. I couldn't see an official signal it.
Yeah, I think he did signal it, but we didn't see it. Oh, no, yeah, I think he signaled for Socastee, but...
I can't tell. Somebody called a timeout on the field.
Well, no, actually, it looks like they...
No, so...
earlier. Right, they took a timeout earlier.
Maybe it was an official timeout.
Maybe.
It could have been.
But either way, like we talked about before, it seems like every time we think, there's something obvious the Panthers should do, it seems like Mark Morris does the opposite.
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of Marshawn Lynch on the 1-yard line. You throw the football.
Mm-hmm.
But I have an interesting point of view on that one. I think they made the right call by throwing it, but it was a good read by Malcolm Butler to jump that pass.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's not much you can do about that one. Either way, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But if they throw it right here and throw an interception, I might laugh just because of the ironic part of me saying that.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side. Sailor, low snap. He'll keep it himself and go QB sneak and gets it into the end zone for a touchdown. Not sure if that was a design QB sneak or not, but
it wasn't even a QB. It was I think it was a read option.
Yeah.
Like a midline read option.
Yeah.
But Scotty got the low snap and didn't even have a chance to
fake it to Zion Gilbert.
And that will push the lead to 48 pending the extra point. Yes. And that should put this game into blowout / garbage time territory.
Well, no, it's 48 now.
49.
49 now.
I said 48 pending.
Oh,
okay,
point. Okay, I get what you're saying.
Welcome
now.
To Earth, Brandon Biscabine. I said that right. Biscabine.
Bisco Bing.
Disco Bing?
No.
Do the boogie?
No.
Do the boogie?
No.
Anyway, Socastee down by 4 touchdowns now. Wait, did I do that math?
Yes.
Right? Yes, I did do it. Wait, 3. 35, 42.
Yeah, you're right.
I did
49.
math wrong.
We don't do math here.
But with 11:01 to go in the fourth quarter, this game should be safe.
Yes.
It should be.
But then again, with those onside, like if they try to do an onside kick after scoring, if they are able to recover another one, who knows?
I would like you to guess the score of the South Florence North Myrtle Beach game at the end of 3.
42-0.
You are surprisingly close. 39-0.
Ah, okay.
That
so
was really good.
I guess they did it. They just kicked a few field goals instead of scoring touchdowns.
10 out of 10. And the kick from J.J. Chaddock is up and fielded at the 29-yard line and brought back out and getting around the corner.
Wow.
He'll bring it to the outside, and he's going to have a lane and will stay inbounds, taken down right at the 49-yard line after a great return by number 15. Number 15. Where he at? That might be
one of the
number 15, Amari Taylor on the return. And he got out to the outside and got a lot out of nothing, it seemed like at one point, from that return. And again, another downside of kicking that pooch. Even if you do pooch it and it is at the 48-yard line, you still could get a return.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on either side. They'll hand it off. And getting taken down after a gain of 1 is Caden O'Keefe.
And, defense didn't play tremendous, but they got enough stops to where the offense could win.
And it's one of those situations on both sides of the ball. If one side of the ball is playing dominantly, then the other side can relax a little bit. And even if you give up a few extra points as they run the fake jet sweep, and
Kadir
Scott's able to keep it himself and gets all the way down to the 34-yard line for a Socastee first down. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 34-yard line.
Rocco in the game, and every time he's come into the game, he's either been a decoy or he's run a jet sweep.
Yeah, and they're going empty backfield again. 3 wide on the far side. Scott takes a snap, and they're going to go screen pass to Rocco. And Wojcik is taken down after a gain of 2.
So I take that back. I was wrong. I was wrong.
Instead of the jet sweep, they go
double
screen pass.
And, get your best players out into space. And that's, I've said that phrase repeatedly, but it's true.
So they'll go empty backfield again, this time 3 wide on the near side. They're going to run the jet sweep again, trying to break through the gap, and getting pulled down at the 18-yard line is Stephen Green. Stephen Green, a 3-sport athlete for Socastee.
He's coming up gingerly.
And
that's going to be an official timeout.
Yeah, he'll have to walk off the field. He's limping a bit, and now he's going to sit down on the field.
Oh.
So hopefully for him, especially he's a senior, and even like I just mentioned, even though the football season is coming to a close, he's got basketball and baseball to look forward to in the winter and spring. So hopefully he's okay.
Yeah. Both teams in the huddle, in their respective huddles, making sure he is okay. But yeah, I don't. They're still there. Yeah, they're huddled around him. I don't even think he's gotten up yet.
So we'll take a quick break and come right back with more Carolina Forest Panther football action.
Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights. We switch TV channels. Some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, State Farm agent Tony McAfee, right here in Carolina Forest, can switch you over so you can start saving today. Tony and his team are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. With Tony McAfee, it's easy to switch and save. Just give him a call. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Shotgun set, empty backfield, 3 wide on the far side, throwing a fade route to the corner of the end zone, and it is just dropped by Zach Starkey, and it will now be 2nd and 10, and for the last 9 minutes, with it being garbage time, I'll hand over the play-by-play duties to Preston Payne for a little while. Give him a few reps.
Quadir Scott in the shotgun, and it is going to be a jet sweep to Grant, and he's going to get to the outside. He's going to make one-man miss and get it down right around the first down marker, right at the 8-yard line. It'll be interesting to see where they spot it. It'll be just short 3rd and inches from the 8-yard line. As soon as you handed it over to me, they snapped the ball. I was not prepared for that one.
Kind of have to learn to just
fly by the seat of my pants.
Yeah, precisely. Just throw you right in the fire.
2 on either side for Quadir Scott and motion offense, and it'll be a hand. No, he'll keep it up the middle. Midline read option, touchdown, Quadir Scott. And the rushing game for Socastee has been basically wide open, especially for Quadir Scott. He was up over 100 yards midway through the 3rd quarter. Do I even want to know the rushing totals for him right now?
Yeah, really. I mean, we'll have to see if he and Gary post them right after the game is over. Normally don't do all that long of a post-game show, but may have to stick around a little longer just to get some final stats on this game, because this has been an offensive
festival.
Yes.
As the PAT is up and good.
And here's the thing, and what's surprising to me about this is Socastee came into this game only averaging 19.4 points per game. Yet, I don't think it's been that the Carolina Forest defense has been playing that poorly.
I think it's a little bit of the defense playing not up to what we thought it was. And it's also a thing where Carolina Forest defense has not been up to Sumter's, what they played against in the first half of Sumter.
Yeah.
But they haven't had to. The offense has been so good that it doesn't have to.
So do you think it's a matter in this game of the Carolina Forest offense has just been so dominant that the defense has kind of laxed off, and that's why we've had such a high-scoring game?
Maybe. But it also, it could be a variety of things, but I think that has a big part to do with it. For the first time tonight, they're not going to go for an onside.
They're not even setting up for the potential of the onside kick. They're
Unless this is like a fake thing right now.
No,
they're going to kick it deep. And I can't tell. I think that is received at the 10. He's going to take it up the middle and be brought straight down at the 20-yard line. Charles McCray, I want to say it was on the return. Number 27. Oh. It was number 27.
Number
might be going down the
7.
We might be going down the depth chart.
Yeah, it's DeMarcus Kraft.
Okay, that makes sense too. That does also make sense. He's been back a few times, been in that second, that not the deepest line, but the one. One in.
He fielded that all the way back at the 5-yard line actually, and was able to bring it out to the 20.
2 on the far side, shotgun set for Scotty with Zion Gilbert to his right. Snap, and they're gonna pass the ball here, looking deep, makes one guy miss. He's gonna step up and he's gonna take off for a run, holds onto the football for a gain of about 3, as Scotty was rushed very heavily on that play, but was able to make a little bit of something out of nothing. A little bit of shock that they throw the football there, just given the situation with time.
We've talked about it all year, but it's really backwards. Like
whenever you would
think that they'd be like, okay, now we have the game pretty much at hand. Let's just run the ball and play it safe. Then Mark Morris says, let's let Scott cook.
Shotgun set, 3 on the far side. It'll be a handoff for Zion. He'll get to the outside, and he'll break through for a gain of about 3, setting up a 3rd and 3. And Zion right now has a very good game on his hands. And he's only a sophomore. It makes me want to come back for when I'm graduating and come see him as a senior. That's how good of an.
But what's funny about that is that we talked about Khalil Johnson that way last year,
right?
And he's kind of fallen off,
right? But
hopefully,
he also had the torn labrum injury.
That
which is actually how he got his start, was because Janak was injured.
That is true.
Shotgun set, 3 on the far side. Zion on that side too. They're gonna hand it off. No, Sky's gonna keep it, and he will get just beyond the first down, and fooled me a little bit on that run. And I assumed Zion was gonna get that ball, but obviously midline read option for Scotty right there, and he was able to take it right in the middle.
The read option has been working very well today. They fooled us twice.
2 more times than it usually does.
Yes.
Math. As they are looking to the sideline and looking to take as much time off the clock as possible. Anthony Aponte and Nathan Schusler on the far side, with Hayden Cotton on the far side in the tight end position, the fullback position, I should say. Handoff to, looks like Bryson Johnson now in the game, and he will take it down to the 46-yard line with a flag. And excuse me, that was number 26, Quavius Drawn. I'm having a stroke out there on the running back, and this one should be coming back.
Yeah, this is probably going to be a holding call. Nice job bouncing it out to the outside and getting around the corner at least a little bit, but I think the reason why he was able to do so was because of the hold.
Yeah. And that will push them back to the 21, it looks like they're going to spot it at. Yeah, the 21-yard line. And maybe they're forced to throw the football here. Maybe they are forced to go deep a little bit here with Anthony and Nathan on the far side, the only two wide receivers in the game right now, as they are looking over to the sideline. Everyone's standing up. No one is in ready formation. With Quavius drawn to the far side and Hayden Cotton in the fullback position. Scotty in the shotgun. Hayden's going to motion to the opposite side. Hand off to Quavius drawn, and he'll bounce out to the outside and get wrangled down for a gain of about 2, leading to a 2nd and 18 now. And Quavius Drawn getting to the outside, but could not turn the corner. And that's maybe one that we see Khalil Johnson go all the way to the outside and try to make something happen there.
Yeah. And especially with where they're at now, at this point, I think you're basically just running out some clock at this point, with it about to be 5 minutes left to go in the game.
As Zion Gilbert will come in the game, and Anthony and Nathan now on the near side with Scotty in the shotgun, and Zion will go to the opposite side. Hayden goes into the fullback position. Snap. 3-step drop. He's looking deep. He's got Anthony Aponte. No, he's got Nathan. Oh, just overthrew him. And I said to Anthony Aponte, they were both in that area. Anthony just ended up tailing off towards the middle of the field to give Nathan some space, and just a bit overthrown.
Yeah, just a tiny bit overthrown. But like you mentioned earlier, we'd rather have it overthrown than underthrown.
Right. They need to stop. That's the one thing that when they take a deep shot, they have 2 wide receivers in kind of the same position sometimes.
Yeah.
That's the one, because you allow two quarterbacks to cover 1 wide receiver.
Yeah.
Or other way around, 1 quarterback to cover 2 wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
as there's four wide receivers out there with Finnegan Mahood, Alec Youngblood, and Nathan Schuessler on the near side, and Owen Hall on the far side, and it's going to be a triple option and a flag as a play is blown dead.
Believe false start.
You would think. It could be 12. This is in the defensive backfield. No, delay of game.
Oh,
delay
okay.
Of game
I guess
on the offense.
Yeah, we weren't paying attention to the play clock
there.
4:55 left to go in the game.
And if you get, I say, hey, I like offense. I want to call a touchdown pass. That's what I really want to do. You really want to be? You want me to be honest with you? I want to call a touchdown pass. And
you just want them to throw it deep so you get to call the touchdown.
Of course. Why wouldn't I? As 3 on the near side, 1 on the far side. Same 3 that I mentioned earlier with Zion on the far side next to Scott. He's going to take a 3-step drop. He's looking deep. He's looking for Nathan Schuessler across the middle. He's going to have a lot of yards to go, but he's going to got a blocker in front of him, and he's going to get to the outside for a big gain right there, all the way up to the 49-yard line from what was the 18. What an absolute catch and run by Nathan Schuessler, as he looks to be a little giddy coming up on that far sideline.
I don't know if his helmet came off or he slammed his helmet down after he got tackled, but I saw his helmet fly off.
And whenever you see a helmet fly off, that always scary for the player, because you got lots of things flying at him, including helmets and bodily. You got your pads and all that flying after him. Never want to see your star wide receiver grimacing at the end of a run, especially in this point of the game.
Yeah.
And
this point in the season.
And this point of the season, as Carolina Forest will take a timeout. So I'm going to try to find the score. I'm assuming Sumter is still in the lead, but we've seen how crazy this region has been this year. You never want to assume anything. I am not seeing anything from the Sumter game. This is not good.
I'll find it.
Okay, sir. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm such a letdown. I'm such a letdown. Maybe Brandon Dunn will have the answer? Mr. Brandon Dunn? Will you have the answer? As both teams are going to come back onto the field, and I don't see Nate, so maybe I didn't see where he went after, so maybe they're just going to keep him out, as I would too, in this situation with the time running down in a blowout. 3 on the near side, including Hayden Cotton, the tight end, in the slot, it looks like, with Nazir Thompson on the near side as well, and Owen Hall on the far side with Zion next to Scotty in the backfield in the shotgun set. Hayden's going to motion across and get back into the fullback position. Scotty will take the snap and hand it off to Zion Gilbert. He's got a big hole, and he will rush for about 9, and they're going to spot him right at the 42-yard line. And that'll be a good gain from Zion.
Yes, and I have an update on the Sumter St. James game. It's a blowout. Sumter 42-7. You hit it right on the head. Nice job.
Look at me. I'm so good. 2 on the near side, 1 on the far side with Hayden still in that fullback position. Scotty takes the snap and is going to hand it off to Zion, and he will break through for just a gain of 2, but that will be enough for a Tony McAfee State Farm Carolina Forest first down. I believe that is the first time that I've actually gotten that whole
Yes,
name
you got
correct.
it right.
Not Pat McAfee.
That was with a minute 45 left in the third, by the way.
Oh,
so
geez,
I
that
don't
game's
know.
going slow.
Yeah. But that was 17 minutes ago.
Okay, so it's probably about
yeah.
halfway through the fourth round. Probably about the same where we're at. 3:45 to go here at Socastee Stadium. 2 on the near side, 1 on the far side with Zion. Actually, no, that's Khalil Johnson in the backfield now for Carolina Forest as the snap is taken. Handoff to Khalil Johnson. He'll break through the middle. He has a wide open lane, and that will be enough for another Tony McAfee State Farm Carolina Forest first down, taken down at the 29-yard line.
So you want to hear offense?
God.
Real quick, we're going to go out-of-town scoreboard right here. You want to hear some offense? Wilson against Myrtle Beach.
I saw that score.
Oh,
it's
you did
50-47.
Yeah.
That is some offense. And what's interesting is Myrtle Beach missed an extra point earlier. So that could be a big decider in that game, too.
Well, no, that's with 8:39 left to go in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Scotty in the shotgun, again with Khalil Johnson in the backfield. And he will hand it off again. And Khalil Johnson will get stuffed right at the line of scrimmage. Not the best run of the night for Khalil Johnson. But at this point in the game, just trying to kind of run some clock off. And if you don't score, you don't score. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And Hayden Cotton is coming up limping on that one. Not good for Hayden. If you got to feel for him. I am close with him. I will try to give it an update as soon as I possibly can with him.
Not good for the Panthers, both Nate and Hayden coming off the field.
Yeah, because a lot of what we see in Hayden in the passing game was when a wide receiver had gone down.
Yeah.
You got to think when Anthony Aponte was out for that 1 week, we saw Hayden line up in the slot, and he got a couple big catches. And it looks like number 14, Braden McCorder, will come in for him. So a name that we haven't seen, but he is a senior this year, so playing in his last few games as a Carolina Forest Panther.
He'll have his final game at home next week. Senior
against St. James.
Senior night.
So that we're assuming Sumter doesn't pull a Falcons and blow a 35-point lead.
Yes.
So next week is the biggest week of the season.
Yes, hands down.
Hands down, no matter what. That is for second place in the region.
Now, either way, which is nice for us, and for the Panthers, they get a home game.
Right.
But still, having that 2 seed... Well, but actually, like we talked about, ironically, with how the seeding works, having the 3 seed would actually have the better matchup.
Right.
Because you're going up against the 4 seed of
the worst region in the lower state.
Whereas you're going up against the 4 seed... the 3 seed of a better region if you're the 2 seed.
But again, no one is trying to lose a game.
No.
Especially against St. James. Like, you just don't want to lose against
And not to mention, you're not trying to lose an 8-game winning streak.
That too.
Where if
this game actually goes to an 8-game winning streak
with this win. Yes. The Panthers push their head-to-head winning streak against Socastee up to 8.
And that one dates back all the way to when was that? That is 2015 is the last time, or was when this winning streak started.
Yeah, 2015 was the first time. 2014 was the last time they lost to Socastee.
Yes. Shotgun set with Scotty taking the snap, and it's going to be a handoff to Johnson. Johnson's going to bounce it to the outside. He's got a little bit of room to run. He's got a blocker. That's a first down and more. Down to the 11. No, they're going to mark him down at the 21. He stepped out a little bit. Oh, no, 16. I was right. The 16-yard line, and he got around to the corner and was able to break that one for a pretty good gain. Only bad part about that is he stepped out of bounds, which stops the clock.
Which sucks.
And it makes this game a little bit longer.
I mean, at this point, they're up by...
It really doesn't matter except for
14.
I want to go home.
No. Oh, no. I understand that entirely.
And Socastee's student section is a little quiet here tonight at senior night.
A surprisingly light, and I didn't see if it was heavier earlier on in the game, but a surprisingly light crowd on the visiting side, only maybe about
It's actually comparable to the Sumter away stands,
But
honestly.
see, that's surprising because Sumter is 2 hours away, whereas this is just...
20, 25, something like that. As Zion will get a 1-yard gain as we were talking. Not that it really matters, but just keep you all updated.
Yeah, this game just about over.
I say you take 3 straight shots at the end zone.
You just want to call a touchdown.
Shush. I actually called one. I called the one touchdown in the Somerville game.
True. You're right.
As Sky's going to hand it off to Zion. Zion's going to get blown up at the line. And this fan in front of me is calling for a timeout when it is a 2-touchdown game.
I mean, with 2 minutes left to go.
No. Because even at the very least, we kick a field goal here.
Did they stop the clock for a 2-minute warning or something?
No, Socastee called timeout.
But they just stopped it perfectly on
the
2 minutes.
It is 2 minutes exactly. Like 2 minutes and no tenths of a second.
They have the tenths here, so we can say it's perfectly dead on. It was just funny to me that they stopped it right at 2 minutes.
So, I want to get your thoughts.
Okay.
On how do you think this game goes for the defense? How do you think this film session goes for the defense? Crappy?
See, I don't really know because, like we were talking about earlier, I don't know if it's that the defense has been bad or it's just been
There's been a lot of possessions.
Well, it's been a lot of possessions, but also the fact that, like, they feel like the offense is firing on all cylinders. We don't need to worry about
Anything, like really
making as many stops.
See, but that's the thing. This is the first time that we've had one side be so dominant that the other side doesn't need to be even half good.
Yeah.
Like, this is not the best Carolina Force defense we've seen all year.
No.
Not by a long shot. And Scotty in the shotgun with 2 on the near side, Anthony and Nas, and 1 on the far side, Owen Hall, and Zion in the backfield with him. Sky's going to take the snap and no, he's going to play action out to Brady McCorder. He's going to break a tackle, and he's going to get down to the 2-yard line. There is a flag, however, and this one could be coming back, but it's kind of in that area where you don't quite know what the actual penalty is going to be.
Yeah.
Brady McCorder is a senior, by the way, so illegal man downfield is going to wipe that penalty out, though, or wipe that play out. Not great. Even in garbage time. You never want that. Biggity, 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 biggity. I'm just trying to get your attention.
Hey, I don't know if you're looking at the Twitter, but I think he's at least following the Twitter account now. He may be listening to the broadcast. Former alumni and current Coastal player Eli Hillman.
Look at that. Look at him. Look at us. We're actual people now. You're only popular if you're popular on Twitter. Everyone knows that.
Yep.
Duh. Hey, but it's 3rd and long. Guess what? We could have a pass.
We could.
And we could have a touchdown. Oh, it's not as long as they thought it was going to be. But
Third
it's
and 13,
15,
yeah.
something like that.
14.
We don't do math. And it's late. We're trying to go home. I have work tomorrow and Sunday. Like, I'm ready to get this over with. This is not a fun day. Well, this is a fun day.
Yes.
The next 2 days are not going to be fun days.
At least this isn't Sumter.
That is true. As they will have 2 on the near side, 1 on the far side. Scotty going to take the snap. He's going to throw the football deep down the field, and that should be a pass interference, and it will be. He was basically tackled at basically the line of scrimmage, and that is Nathan Schuessler on that pass attempt. So he is back in the game, and he is doing quite all right, and that's a good sign to see.
Yes, that's a very good sign that Nathan Schuessler is out on the field, and he seems to be okay, and that will give the Panthers a 1st and goal.
As during that play, I rocked in my chair, and I was leaning a little bit too forward, and I lost the chair from underneath me. I went down on one knee for that call. So, if you ever doubt my credibility, as it won't be an automatic 1st down, it'll be 3rd down still. I don't know why. I don't know why.
That's surprising. I thought it was at the spot of the foul that they.
I don't think in high school it's a spot foul. I think it's a 10-yard penalty with the replay of that.
Oh, okay.
So 3rd down and about 4 to go here. Scotty with the shotgun set. He's going to hand it off to Zion. Zion's going to get to the outside. He's going to break through a tackle. Spin move. Touchdown. Zion Gilbert with garbage time left to go. 1:41. But that will increase the score to 55 to 20 or to 35.
Won't quite get up to the number of the West Brunswick game from last year, but this has definitely been an offensive game. That is
very much so.
With 1:41 left to go.
And I got to call a touchdown.
There you go.
Like, we all win here tonight.
Yep.
Except for who doesn't win.
Socastee.
As the extra point is up. And good. End over end for J.J. Chaddock. And now I'm just having fun with it. Now I'm just saying stuff in random voices now on the Carolina Force football broadcast, as I am joined by Billy Bob. Oh, Lord.
I knew you were going to try to put it in there.
But not for too long.
This is what happens when you get us into good garbage time.
Yeah, right? This is what happens when I can make fun of what's going on and not have it be bad.
Yeah.
As this has been kind of the game we expected. Maybe not the point side of, like, the Socastee point side of it, but this is the type of game that we expected going into this game. Not close at all. This is actually Carolina Forest offense not playing down to its competition. Maybe the defense played a little bit down to its competition, but Carolina Forest offense definitely did not. As I now for just the sake of J.J. Chaddock, I hope he gets a kick one deep.
Okay, so,
What?
I don't know what happened here, but what did you say the score was between South Florence and North Myrtle Beach at the half?
36-0? At the end of the third?
Was that at the end of the third?
It
That
was.
36-0?
Yep.
Okay, but the offense went dead for South Florence. I guess they brought in their backups or something.
Yeah.
Because the final score, 46-0.
Nice. As the JJ actually kicks one deep, and it is going to roll all the way to the 1 yard line, and he's going to pick it up and return it all the way out to the 17-yard line. And if we could have just been doing that all night, and maybe we don't even give up 35 points. Maybe this shows Coach Mark Morris that it doesn't have to be just pooch kicks. And that was Zion's third rushing touchdown of the night, and just what a game. What an offensive game for Carolina Forest. Probably the first one we've had against a region opponent or a quality opponent at that since I've been here.
Yes, against a quality opponent. Yes, you are correct. Yeah. Since you've been here, this is the first one.
Well, a region opponent anyway. I don't know if this is a quality opponent, but it's a region opponent.
The Socastee game last year was
Quadir Scott's going to get sacked in the backfield off of a play-action rollout right there at the 11-yard line. He's going to get taken down. And, yeah, Socastee is just going to kind of let this run out. There's no point to even let anything happen. These parents right in front of me are still yelling and still asking for offensive pushing the football down the field.
We have a final between Sumter and St. James.
St. James wins 52-49.
No.
No? Okay.
42-14, Sumter wins.
Quadir Scott with the handoff, and he will break wide up the middle. He's got one man to beat. He's going to get to the outside. He will be dragged down at the 37-yard line. Number 27, Stefan Adamski.
Yes.
Adamski. That sounds Russian. Adamski.
It probably is, or Polish.
Yeah, that too. But Stefan Adamski
but
with the carry.
So Sumter officially clinches the region title.
Yes, sir.
And the matchup next week will be to determine who the number 2 seed is. And now officially Socastee, this clock's running down, but this game's over. So Socastee will be the cellar dweller in Region 6 or Region 5, 5A. But they will more than likely still make the playoff because of how the
lucky
format is.
And 15 seconds to go. Socastee looks like they're lining up for one more play. I don't really care. I mean, I'm going to call it anyway, but I don't really. This game is over.
This game is
Quadir
over.
Scott it's a low snap, and he's going to be rushed out of the pocket. He's going to take a one shot, and it's not even going to get to the end zone. And Trey Grant does not haul it in, and that will be the end of the game. But there is a flag.
Because it looked like Scott got waylaid when he threw the ball. I think this is going to be a roughing the passer. Which means there's going to be one more play.
If you're Saugastee's head coach, do you decline this penalty? Let's be real. It's declined. Okay, we are
so
out
that
here.
is official. The game is over. Final score 56-35.
So next week for sure sets up a fight for number 2.
Number 2, yeah.
Between St. James and Carolina Forest. Socastee is officially the cellar dweller, going 0-4 in the region. And what was the last time that we could say someone other than the St. James Sharks was last in the region?
I believe it was 2015. I think. I'm pretty
sure we had this conversation before, and I'm pretty sure that's the conclusion we came to.
Yeah.
Any final words that you would like to say? I think we said pretty much everything we possibly could about this game.
Yeah.
Great offensive performance. Defense was maybe a little lackluster, but held them enough times to where it didn't really matter.
Yeah, I mean, like we talked about earlier, how much the defense is affected, how much the defense was bad or how much they just kind of didn't try as hard as they should have because of how good the offense was doing. That's the big question.
Yeah.
And the big question now going into next week is, it's going to be next week is going to really be a big test to see for both teams, for both St. James and for Carolina Forest. How good are these teams?
I think that will be a big question. That is a very big question going into playoffs, and especially in the next week. And we will have all of the answers for that next week at home at the Panther Stadium, the Palladium as everyone likes to call it. And 56-35 Carolina Forest with the victory, moving to 2-1 in the region. For Brandon Biscuit